penalty advantage here. The shot was high. Numbers to the right. Campbell's held on. Here comes Tyler Campbell.
Goes to the footwork and runs over the top. Ashby, quick hand over the top now, looking for Levi. And Madison Levi, she is lethal down the edge. Wells gets the pass on the inside. Here goes Horton. One more out of Potter, and Potter's got two. Black to Campbell. Campbell on the outside and try time to the skipper. Tyler Campbell. Cut pass out to Stoward. Right foot, left foot, try. Reed Stoward in full flight. Inside to Campbell. Tyler Campbell.
Media Vintage Sports Network presents Play-by-Play podcast. Jordan Hughes.
Yes, here we are. The wait is finally over. The 2025 Wallabies Test season is finally upon us, and we know what's all to come. The British and Irish Lions on our shores for the first time in 12 years. But before all of that, it begins today. The Wallabies must battle the might of Fiji live from Newcastle. So welcome in for Media Vintage Sports Network, our first live watch-along broadcast presented by Double Take Sports Production. Jordan Hughes with you in studio alongside the usual play-by-play podcast feed. Bond University captain, 26 appearances for Waikato, Tyler Campbell. And next to him, Bond University scrum half, former Glasgow Warrior and Hospital Cup Premiership winner, Jordan Lanack. And Tyler, here we are.
Yeah, excited, ready to go. Big test match coming up. We've sort of been, chopping away at this the last couple of years with the podcast, and to get an opportunity like this, really looking forward to it. And hopefully everyone tunes in and we can make it as entertaining as possible.
So 24 minutes to kick off alongside Jordan Lanack. Jordy, good to see you. It's been a while, mate. How are we?
I'm good, mate. I'm all right.
What do you think of all this?
Mate, I walked in, I just about fell over. I think this is great. The boys here obviously put on a pretty tight ship, and hopefully we can do some justice, not run our name to the ground and drag them down with us. But no, it should be a good day. I'm excited. So are you guys officially media guys now? You give me a lot of shit about being the media guy. I think you guys are not there now.
Oh, look, maybe we've got our big toes in the door, but I wouldn't say we're a full foot in yet.
Okay, got some work to do. So plenty to come in the pre-game. 24 minutes till kickoff. So basically, we want to be your second screen watching along the Wallabies in Fiji, the first test match for you. So we're going to have, hopefully, Ollie Connaughton on the ground in Newcastle is going to join us shortly. We're going to go in the film room with this man, Tyler Campbell, breaking down some of the Wallabies midfield. We've got random stats guy phoning in all the stats you need to know for your gambling picks. We'll give our predictions as well. And then, plenty of comments. So if you can see on the YouTube chat, get your comments in for the boys. Let us know you're watching. Reshare the clips. It's much appreciated. So much to look forward to on the coverage we get stuck in for the Wallabies and Fiji. Now, Tyler, quickly, I'll start with you. The Lions last night, we saw them over the Waratahs. Sloppy game, 21-10 in the end. What'd you make of it?
I've got to, give full credit to the Tars. I thought, we talked about Sydney being a bit of a fortress for them, and I actually thought they sort of played with a lot of heart. They made the game scrappy. It was a bit stop-start. The ref did blow up a lot of things, but they made it scrappy. I thought Charlie Gamble was immense. His ability to get over the ball at crucial times when the Lions are on attack really sort of killed that momentum the Lions were trying to build. On the Lions side of it, I don't think they'll be happy with it. I think they're still pretty good defensively, but attacking-wise, a few changes. They sort of lost a bit of continuity that we saw against the Reds on Wednesday night, and but I do think Hugh Jones again put his hand up, and I think he's now the front runner for that jersey.
Well, Geordie, you said that a few months ago. We're talking about our starting 15 for the line. You backed Hugh Jones, a fellow Scotsman.
Yeah.
What'd you make of him last night?
Yeah, I think it was really good. Like, we had a bit of a chat on the way up to the studio this morning about the Sionair-Hugh Jones combination, and like we said, like Bundy Archie was kind of the topic of that conversation, and I think him and himself is a complete athlete and a force to be reckoned with. But I think just the fact that Sionair and Shuggy play at club together, they play for the national team together. Now the Lions together, like they've had a couple of years to build on those connections, and we saw last night, like, even that little tip ball from Sionair to put Shuggy through that hole, like that's bread and butter for Glasgow. So I think the fact that they've had that time together for so long really just makes such a difference. But yeah, you take any of those three, being Sionair, Shuggy, and Bundy, like if you put them in the mix anywhere, they're going to be a danger. But I think at the moment, as Tyler just said, with Hugh probably locking down that 13 jersey, you probably want Sionair to be on the inside of him, just distributing and running that ship a little bit better.
For someone that played, obviously, at Glasgow, you spent some time in Scotland. I guess, what have you made of the Lions so far? I haven't seen you in a few weeks. What have you made of that? You were there at the Reds game. I was there over in Perth.
Yep.
Building in the right direction. Bit of a hiccup last night. I guess, what's your take on it?
Yeah, I think anytime you put a team like that together, like you look at the Barbarians when they get a sort of ragtag team thrown together, the Lions have obviously had that bit of an extended preparation into all these games. But I think the thing that I take away from when I watch these games and something that really stood out to me on Wednesday night was you can really tell how well a team is building based on their defence. Like their attack's going to come and they're trying different combinations, as we just said, and things are going to happen, which is completely fine. But I was sitting behind the posts at Suncorp on Wednesday night and watching the Lions defense fold in and around the corner, get their spacing, get up square, put on dominant shots consistently. To me, that's a team that's building really well. So once they get those combinations in attack sorted, I think they're going to be a very, very hard team to stop.
On the back of that, you mentioned it on the potty on Friday. Their line speed, the D was ferocious, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the thing is, obviously they're physical and they're big bodies. But what they do well is when they get the dual contact, they get two men into the collision, the next two fold straight into where they were, and they just keep that line sort of continuity going. And when you've got that spacing, you get two into the tackle, you're able to slow the ball down, gives them that split second to get set, and then they bring line speed and they just get in front, get bodies in front, make a dominant collision. And, I use the Reds example where they started at the 22 on attack and ended up back in their own half. That's a sort of sign of a good defense, and there's sort of a golden rule. It's probably a little bit different at test footy, but normally if you defend the first sort of 4 phases well, teams look to kick away or someone gets a little bit bored and sort of makes an error and tries to do something to sort of get around that defence. So I think they're looking really good in that defensive sort of mindset, as Geordie just touched on. So just if I'm a Wallabies sort of person looking forward, it's how you're going to bend that line and how you're going to put them under pressure defensively.
I like it. So we'll get stuck into lines a bit later in the program. But let's talk about the Wallabies and Fiji, what's to come. And who better to get all the stats we need to know? Random stats guy. If you don't follow on Instagram, you need to be. He has all the stats for you across league, union, and he joins us now. Nathan Corbett, random stats guy. Hello, brother. How are you?
Hey, Geordie. How you going?
Good, mate. Thanks for joining us. Firstly, you're in Sydney. How we travelling down there?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Nice sunny day. Should be a flat track there up in Newey. I mean, it's 2 hours north of me, but should be a good one.
Did you get to the Tars game last night, Nate?
I didn't. I'm going to the Anzacs game next weekend in Adelaide, so I saved the money up for that one.
There we go. So Nathan is our man for all the stats. And if you want to have a punt on this game, there's obviously plenty of markets for you. Nathan, lay it on us. Australia versus Fiji. What are the stats we need to know?
Plenty of stats to look into for this game, of course. Australia should be the winner for this game. They haven't lost to Fiji in Australia since 1954, so let's not start today. But they're at minus 14.5. I really do like that line. Fiji, whilst they have won 6 of their last 8 tests, they have lost 3 of their last 4 tests against top-tier nations by at least 22 points. The Wallabies in their last 6 home tests against Fiji have beaten them by 22 or more points as well. So I think that minus 14.5 goes in easily. If you're looking for try scorers on that market, I think the absolute lock here, Harry Potter, on that right wing there for the Wallabies. 7 tries in 13 games in Super Rugby. He was second for line breaks in the Super Rugby competition as well. And we've seen last year for the Fijians that they have conceded 7 tries to right wingers in the last 6 tests of theirs. So plenty of jam there on Harry Potter. If you are looking for a Fiji try scorer to jump on over, Joshua Tuisova, he scored in 3 of his last 6 tests, including last time he played the Wallabies there in the World Cup in 2023. He's been in great form over for Racing 92 in the top 14. 18 line breaks in 23 games. He'll be looking pretty juicy for a try.
There we go. Rando, all the goods as always. Mate, if you're having a punt today, what's your best of the bet? What are you laying your hard-earned coin on, mate?
I don't mind the minus 14.5 and Harry Potter. You're getting $3 for that one. If you're looking for a same game to loop into it, look at the points, because Fiji, they like to leak a lot of points as well. And if the Wallabies, their attack is on song, we'll see plenty of them as well. And I think most of those games in the autumn test that we saw at the end of 2024 did go over that 58.5 mark.
Love it, Nath. All the juice. Mate, and for people that have seen you for the first time right now, where can we find you?
Random Stats Guy. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I'd be that bloke putting out the useless stats that you go doesn't make sense, but that's where you can find me there. If you're looking for a bit more stats, you can jump on the Patreon, see all the stats you need to know for the upcoming rugby tests, the Lions games, and the tests later on in the year.
Rando, much appreciated, mate. Great to see you. And, of course, you're a Bond University legend, mate. You could play a bit on the field as well back in your time. So thanks for stopping by, and we'll catch up very soon.
Too easy. Don't ask about my Bond win percentage though. That's not too good.
There we go. Thank you, Rando. Nathan Corbett joining us on the live watch-along broadcast. Plenty of stats there, boys. Thoughts around that?
Yeah, I actually big fan of the Harry Potter one. Sort of had him in what I was looking at. He's just had a phenomenal season, and you know, there's always the jokes about him being a wizard, but he's generally been that for the Force. I thought in a team that towards the back end of the year struggled, he was definitely their best.
I like it. Now, before we get to kickoff, we're going to send our man here, Tyler Campbell, in the film room. He wants to take a look at the midfield. So much conversation around Ikitau and Joseph Suaalii. He's put some clips together. I guess, what are you sort of seeing here, Tyler?
Just this one. I've just got a couple clips here. I think a key to beating that defence is going to be Len Ikitau's ability to get over the gain line. One thing that's, I think, underappreciated with him is just this left foot step. Just bang. He's got a good palm too. He's got the ability sort of to isolate a defender, get a one-on-one, and then get him behind the gain line. And what that does, you know, with the Lions having such good defense is if you're running backwards, it's a lot harder to set your line. And, you know, it sort of creates those gaps, play on the front foot. You know, Valentini here is another one, gets them over the gain line. But then you get Len here, manages, there's a good set line there, but manages to create the one-on-one, sort of gets himself free, and then he pops out the other side and actually scores here. So I just think he's a massive key moving forward to the Wallabies. Obviously a different jersey, but his footwork, I actually think it's severely underrated. I think he's got some of the best footwork in the world, but probably doesn't get recognised with guys like Cheslin and stuff being able to use it out wide and having a bit more highlight to it. But his footwork laid at the line just creates these opportunities for the Wallabies, and will put a lot of pressure on the Lions D because they can't sort of leave him alone, if that sort of makes sense. This as well, another way to sort of beat a rush D is the offload. Something that Suaalii definitely has in his arsenal from his league days. So we get here, he just has that ability sort of to draw in two defenders and then get that offload away and just create space and create opportunities like this. Another thing, actually that's just, you know, that's class.
Yeah.
That's class. This as well. This is something we're going to see, I think, a lot of over today and throughout the test. His ability to sort of pressure kickoffs, but not just kickoffs, high balls in general. Possessions are key when you're going up against a quality team, especially a team like the Lions that likes to kick a lot. Here we go again. He's just getting up in the air, taps it back, and you just get ball back. And I think that's a key. You know, rugby sort of can be won in those kickoffs after point, and then this is just outrageous. I just thought I'd put that in because it looks good.
Yep.
You don't see many players in the world do this. And, I just think those two are going to be the key to the Wallabies' success in this Lions tour.
So I guess as it stands now, that 12-13 combo, that's a lock for you?
Yeah, that's a lock.
Yep.
I thought Hunter started the game well for the Reds.
Yep.
Showed some good ability to get over that gain line and break tackles. But I think what we saw in the back end of last year's sort of Northern Hemisphere tour, those two started to gel really well. And people were talking about who should wear the 12, who should wear the 13. I generally don't think it really matters.
Yep.
Both, like, while they're slightly different, they're very similar, and you can sort of interchange them. You know, if you want Suaalii to carry and get over that gain line and get an arm free, you can. Leonard Kittel's obviously can do it with his footwork, and he's not a big body like your Matanonus were back in the day, or Samu Karevis, for example, but he still gives you that gain line you need in that quick ball to sort of put pressure on the Lions' defence. As
we look at the screen now, we see the Prime Minister from Australia, Albo there, and the Fijian Prime Minister as well, onto the field. Harry Wilson leading out the Wallabies today. Let's take a look at the team lists for tonight, or this afternoon's match. Jordan Lanack, run us through the forwards there for the Wallabies.
Yeah, so I think it's a really strong forward pack. I'm not going to go through 1 to 8 if you don't want me to. Everyone can see it. But I think for me, the biggest standout there is going to be Lungi Gleeson getting a start at 6. I think he's had a really dominant super season so far. And for him, I think this is his second start for the Wallabies. Is that correct?
Close.
Yeah, something like that. But anyway, I think this is a really good game for him. Obviously, the Fijians are going to throw a lot at that. Probably the back five of the forwards. They're pretty strong up front. But I think that running back five that they've got with their offloads, as Tyler just said, for our centres, for someone like Lungi to really tie that up is going to be a big game for him and a big opportunity.
And Tyler Campbell, they've gone with Tate McDermott and Noel Olsea in the halves. A quick take on that?
Yeah, I think they're building a good combination. I don't know if Tate will be the guy that will get the nod come the Lions test, but he's someone that brings a lot of X factor, and if the Wallabies can generate quick ball, look for him to sort of attack around that ruck today and create a lot of opportunities for his players.
We see the Fijian lineup too. It's all power as expected. Tavita Kanavere, the Fijian Drua captain, he'll skip at the side. Penny Ravai, the former Queensland Red, in the lineup too. Caleb Muntz, Tyler Campbell gets a crack at 10. Someone you've seen, I guess, thereabouts in your career. What do you make of him?
Yeah, talented young kid, and I think he's had some big wins for Fiji too, and he's proven that he can play test level footy. We saw the game against England before the World Cup where they won that, and he's got a lot of potential, and he's probably been unlucky with injury and finding his form again the last couple of years, so I'm very interested to see how he goes. But one I'm really interested in seeing is Iosefo Masi in the 13 jersey. Very talented, and the battle between him and Suoli'i today I think is going to be outstanding and really one to sort of keep your eyes on.
And one now we have to mention there, Tua Solva in the 12 jersey. He is an absolute wrecking ball.
Yeah.
Geordie, would you go near him in a tackle, mate?
I would actively find ways to not be on the same side of the field as him.
Don't you do that every Saturday, mate?
Yeah, no, he's a scary man.
Plenty of that. All right, before kick-off, let's get into our predictions, boys. How do we see it playing? So Australia, $1.13. Fiji, $5.50. The Lions, 14.5. Now, let's go first try scorer, boys.
I've actually chucked $10 on David Parecki.
Okay, yeah.
I think the Wallabies will come out very disciplined early and look to get penalties. Fiji might have a bit of emotion, and I'm looking for a rolling maul try and him dotting down in the corner with that off the back of a maul.
Joy Linac, first try scorer.
I've actually gone Max Jorgensen.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's something I think
over 100 days since he's played, I think. It's been a while.
But I think, as I said in that sort of, when we were looking at those team lists, I think Fiji are going to be very tough up front for at least the first 25. So I think it might be tough for the Wallabies to get some payback there, but I think it's a really good spot for them to set up players like Jorgo and Harry Potter out the back to sort of get things rolling. So for me, I think, I'm going to go a little bit wider.
I will say Jorgo was in outstanding form before he went down with that injury, and you could argue he was the best back in, I guess, Australia at that time. He was playing really well, and the Tars were on a bit of a winning streak, and I think he was a huge loss and sort of derailed their season at that point.
If he puts a showing on today, is there a chance that first test?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I think him and Harry Potter are starting to see who gets the starting spot opposite Filippo.
Oh, really?
I reckon that's why they're both starting today.
Yeah.
I think Filippo will start the first test, though.
What about the likes of Peach pushing, Dylan Peach? Kellaway as well, bit of experience?
I don't think.
I just don't think they've been in enough form this year.
I like it. Okay, boys, who wins it? And give me against the spread as well.
I'm going to go Australia to win.
Yep.
I actually wish we spoke to Rando a little bit earlier because I've actually gone 1-12.
Okay.
So I think it's not going to be as much as a blowout as previously, but I don't know. I could be wrong, and as the potty shows and history tells, I've been very wrong before, so we could see how that goes. And then I've got two try scorers. Jorgo is my first, but I've also got him as another anytime, and Dave Parecki as my other anytime. So
good little same game multi there for the punters. Tyler.
I actually picked the alternative lines and got a bit niche with it, but I had Australia to win by more than 8.
Okay.
I do think they could cover the 14.5. I think they got a bit more to play for, and they're building towards something, whereas Fiji's kind of just starting and they'll have time to sort of get those combinations and stuff right. I did the under 77.5, which was the highest.
You've juiced it up a lot.
I really juiced it up with some little ones there, but I do think this game's going to be around sort of that 30 to 18 kind of mark anyway.
Yep.
I've actually picked for the Fijian side Salisi Reasi on debut for Fiji.
Yep.
Hurricane back in the day. I think he played a bit for Auckland too in the NPC.
Yep.
He's really good at finding the try line. Good finisher. He normally plays on the wing, but he's getting the nod at fullback today. So interesting how he goes. And then for Aussie, I've actually got the Wizard. I've got Harry Potter, and I've got Fraser McWright.
Yep.
Knows how to score in the test arena. So that's my sort of juiced up moldy. $10 into, what does it say here? 428.
that is juice.
There we go.
Gone for a juicy one today.
That's hard.
Trying to pay the bills.
Gamble responsibly, of course. For me, Australia win this. I'll go Australia minus at 14.5. I'll have the under, 58.5. I reckon it's somewhat tight. 38-15 is my correct score. Try scorer is Harry Potter, Fraser McWright, and it kind of vary for the Fijians for me. As you see the two sides lining up now for the Anthems just moments away. One point on that film breakdown you said about the aerial attack. We saw Dylan Peach for the Force do that a lot against the Lions. I reckon that's a real strike power that Joseph Suoli'i will do the same for the Lions.
Yeah, and obviously he's an athlete.
Yeah.
What does he stand, like 6'4"?
He's massive.
Yeah.
Like, he's real tall, but he's obviously got a bit of experience in contesting the kicks in league that he spent the last couple of years over with the Roosters. So he's got a bit of experience, but he's just real good at it. And I think that's why the Tars persisted at playing him at 15 this year. So
I think as well, like if you look back on what Australia have done previously with similar bodies, like Izzy Folau, relatively similar shape, relatively similar background, cross code, unbelievable athlete. When he was in form, like that was his bread and butter, like getting up, contesting kicks, putting pressure on
cross-field kicks too,
like anything aerial attack. So if I was in the Australian coaching staff and was kind of looking on what has worked previously and seeing a body like that coming through, I wouldn't really change much as if we were to have Izzy back in there. So,
yeah, I like it. I've got a couple of comments coming through on the broadcast. So obviously send your things in. This is from Shark Maipi. I want to say big hello to my nephews Geordie and Tyler. Who's just a bit of family coming in, guys?
No, he is family.
No,
Not blood, but he is.
Okay.
He is
I know
family.
exactly
Uncle Shark,
who that is.
Good after mornings. Well done.
Yeah. In New Zealand, Australia, where's this coming
You
from?
know the man.
Tianawa, mate.
Yeah, Tiana.
It's Uncle
Great.
Shark.
Yeah, there we go.
Uncle. Hello, Uncle.
And that same man, he likes the what has he got here? He likes Fiji. Get up, 15
13
plus.
plus.
He can't.
You got to say it.
I think Fiji will get up 13 plus.
There we go.
There you
He's
go.
on brand
That's what
there.
he's doing.
Yeah, that's good.
We got
good for
Braden
him.
here. Got a comment about the New Zealand game. Yes, we'll get into this a bit later. But New Zealand, he reckons they're pretty poor. Tyler, quick thoughts around that?
Yeah, look, I think, standard New Zealanders, when you don't win by heaps, we're probably not happy with it being a French second side. But one thing I will say is they had 3 disallowed tries that might have made it a bit more, I guess, would have made you a bit more happier as a New Zealand fan. So I don't think they were terrible, but I do think there's a lot of work-ons moving into the next test.
Another one coming here, friend of the program, former Queensland Red, Spencer Jeans. Love the hat, mate. Whereabouts did you get it?
Oh,
Jordy hates the hat.
No,
Jordy's not
actually,
gonna
no.
talk
You
about
know what? I tried it on before, and I think now that it's worn in and we've got a bit of shape to it, I can back it.
If you a regular listener to the podcast, you would get that reference.
Yeah.
What's the brand again?
Yeah, so we've got O'Hara Madden. It's one of the boys' hats that he's just sort of put out, and they're good quality hats, and they're down on his on his Instagram. So if you go and put O'Hara Madden into your Instagram, you can get yourself a hat like mine and hopefully wear it on your own podcast.
I will be getting one. Just to put it out there.
Your head's not too big. It fits.
I got it. I mean, the clips are tight when it's on, but when it's on, it's on. So I will be getting one. So.
I do think they may be sold out at the moment, so we may have
Okay.
to wait for a second run to come through.
All right.
Wow, there we go. So keep the comments coming in. If you're player of these boys, Bond Rugby boys, you played over Waikato or Glasgow, wherever you may be tuning in, give us a message.
Anything.
A question for the guys, a topic you want to touch on.
Doesn't even have to be rugby related. Just get involved.
Get involved.
I do ask that we keep it PG though.
Well,
Yeah.
We're trying to make this a regular thing, so let's not ruin it in the first 10 minutes. We'll touch on it now. The anthems were done. The Wallabies are getting ready to go. Packed house in Newcastle.
Yeah.
Looks like a beautiful day, boy. This is what, like Sunday prime time, this is what we should be playing.
Oh, I'm a big fan of it. Big fan of it. I think, Sunday afternoon footy, you can take the kids down. It's sort of a bit more appetising to bring your kids to a game like this rather than the 7:30 ones at night. And I think it shows a pathway for kids that they can go into the gold jersey and they can sort of have this moment.
I really like the fact they've gone to Nui to play this as well.
Yep.
Like, get out of the big stadiums, get out of the big cities, take it. Obviously, this isn't country Australia, but take it to something a little bit less mainstream. And I think, by all accounts, from the people that we know there, which we're going to speak to some of them later, it's been a really good vibe. Everyone's really excited. Obviously, anyone who's watching this, you can see it. Unbelievable day. Everyone's fired up, ready to go. And yeah, Sunday afternoon, a few beers and just kick back and relax.
I tell you what's a daunting prospect. You see the Wallabies now facing, I can't think of the technical name for the Fijian fight dance, I guess you'd say.
War dance.
War dance, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever faced something like that from the Fijians? Any in your junior teams, anything like that?
I played the Fijian under 20s. We had like a Waikato 21 side, and we faced them, and they did their war dance. But I will say this: watching that, I would not want to be in a dark alley with Penny Rabbi.
No.
Very scary man.
Yeah. He's an absolute threat. Former Queensland Red as well, then went back to the Drua. As we see, Lenny Katau ready to rock and roll. This is some great pictures here. This is what it's all about here. This is a really important test for the Australians, as we spoke about in the pre-game. Like, it goes two ways here. Either we do a job, we dust them off, and everyone's excited about what's to come, or it's way too close, or worst case, we lose, then everyone freaks out.
I do think there is a part that we've got to realise. This is their first test together, and they're building combinations. The thing we don't have the luxury of with the Wallabies is they're not going to get 6 or 7 build-up games. They're sort of relying on combinations from last year. They're also relying on players to sort of be ready for test level footy without having played test rugby this year, whereas the Lions played Six Nations at the start of the year. And then they've gone into a club finals season and then rolled into this. So they're going to be hardened and ready for rugby. It's just, I guess it's up to Joe Schmidt and his team to get all the boys up to that level as fast as they can. And I guess we'll get a good indication today of what level they're at and how they're looking.
A legend is having a chat here. Justin Bernstein, Bond University Centurion. Thoughts on Harry Potter starting? Happy with this, Tyler?
Yeah, I think he deserves a shot. I thought he was really good for the Force, particularly the back end of the year. Thing with him is I think he's a big body and someone that's going to help Australia get over the gain line. I don't think he should have started over Filippo. I don't think that's the thing. I think Filippo's the number one winger at the moment, but be interesting to see how he goes because this is obviously a big task and a big step for him at test level.
And the same vein here, the great man Justin Bernstein. I'll come to you, Geordie Lanack. Is this Australia at full strength? Who's likely to come in?
No, I don't think it is full strength. As Tyler just said, I think at least one of those winger spots are already locked up. We were speaking about the fact that this is probably a trial for Harry Potter and Jorgo to see who's going to be that other wing starting spot. But yeah, I think if you look at form, I think he probably does deserve to start today, just to see how he goes at this level against a pretty tough opponent. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see at least 6 or 7 changes come in between now and the Lions test.
Being a number 9 yourself and a very good one at that, Jake Gordon's your preference for if he's fit?
Yeah, for me is I think we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. I just think in terms of what we got at the moment, he's probably the most well-rounded 9. He's got a really strong pass, a really strong kicking game, which I think is probably where Tate at the moment is in a bit of a slump. Not to say he's not a good kicker when he is, but I think at the moment, like as every player goes through, you have those hit and misses. But at this level, that's one of the massive building blocks that you need to get involved in and be well versed in. So yeah, for me, Jake Gordon's there as the starting 9, and I'd probably nearly pick Nick White for that second spot at the moment, just for more of that leadership role.
I like it. So we are rocking and rolling here in Newcastle, Australia versus Fiji. Live from Newcastle. Great to have your company. Maybe joining us as we see the aerial offence there. Jorgensen getting an early crack at it. A couple more coming in here. Dion Samuela, he was a great 10 before he did his shoulder. Bunch of handsome fellas right there. Keen for this. Cook Islands 13 plus, he says.
Oh, the Cookie Monster, man.
The Cookie Monsters. He's on.
Can we have a go at this guy too? He's playing good footy.
100%.
And he goes plays Oztag, does his shoulder.
Yeah.
What's doing?
He's back next week.
Is he?
Back for Ladies' Day. He's popped it out.
Yeah,
but
isn't that funny,
hasn't
isn't it?
done any extensive damage. So, no, I'm looking forward to Dion being back on the field. And I think he's going to bring a bit more... another level of sort of X factor and competition in our team for spots. So
and just vibes, just good vibes. Just good time to be around.
We've actually changed his name to Carlos.
Yeah, Carlos.
Yeah. What's the?
Well, we've got 2 Dions, and he looks a bit Mexican.
I was going to say that stash going on is
the stash.
something
So
else.
they've given him the Carlos name.
So the Fijians get an early scrum
Not a
penalty
good
here.
first scrum.
Yeah,
that's a bit of a confidence sign for them.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how this goes because we saw the set piece the other night. I thought Aiden Ross for the Reds. His scrumming was really, really good. And I think he could be one that is a bolt to get called in as well. You know, people asking about the squad. I think the other one that we could possibly have a look at is your Pete Samu, how he goes in that Oz-NZ game. Like I've talked about the form he has been in over in France. And that top 14 comp, you'd argue, is the best comp in the world at the moment. So really interested to see how some of these boys go today.
Steal.
So Noah Law, see you now, clear it downfield. If you're watching at home, you may be slightly ahead of us on the delay.
Kick left.
Of course, Noah, TSS graduate, was he?
Played with us in 2015.
Yeah, his first year. He was the slowest winger to ever go through GPS first 15.
Did he play in the Sting?
Yeah, well, we just needed him in the squad. And
just at schoolboy level, you can get away with.
Yeah.
You just want your best 7 backs on the field.
Yeah.
Who are some of the names in that side?
Still Riley was 13.
Still Riley,
So
Japanese 13 now?
Myself at 9, Tyler at 10, Jai Whitbread at 12,
Great feet.
who's playing in that Super League comp over in England, killing it. Dill Riley at 13, Japanese 13 now. Then we had Noah on one wing,
Hayden Sargent
on the other,
and then the King,
Maxi Dowd at 15.
How'd you go that year?
Third,
No, we
I think.
choked.
Third?
We choked.
Yeah, right.
We should have finished second, but we got to the last game, couldn't win the comp, and
We had the part.
No finals, you lose a game, you put yourself in a bit of trouble.
Here we go now. Chance for Jorgensen down the edge. Bumps away
Wallabies
from Mutz there.
looking good early here.
Ikitau, a bit of that footwork we spoke about in the pre-game as well. At the line.
Straight. This comes off the back of his early gain line, and they just kept going forward.
Here we go. Crossfield.
Crossfield looking for Potter this time.
Oh, Geordie, you were looking for...
Looking at the first try score there. It's picked away. Now here goes the Fijians. Oh, no. Just what they do very well. Yosefa Masi.
No, what? Oh, we're going to get penalised. Oh.
It's a frantic start early on. We spoke about it. Harry Potter is the option there on the crossfield.
Again, another big body.
Bounce back.
He'd still be, what, 6'2", 6'3"?
Yeah, he's a big man, old Harry Potter.
Like, he's not a small target to try and hit.
Well done, Jeremy Williams. Oh,
we're going to get done.
Oh, knock on.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
all right.
understandable.
But yeah, our first 15 days, we lost one sort of mid-season, and then our last game was up in Toowoomba. So, 2 hours from us up the hill. We know we couldn't win. We had a big event planned for later that night, and I think we
Gotta love a good old rugby party.
Yeah, we do.
We kind of wanted to just get up and down the mountain as quick as we could.
Yeah, okay. There it is.
But even then, like that team, that had Hamish Stewart, he was playing in that team. We had the Oates
Harry
boys. Hoops was playing in that team. So they had a pretty good team up there as well.
Yeah, 2014, very similar. Joey Fiddock in that. But
Yeah.
that 2014 Churchy, I'd argue, is one of the best schoolboy teams of all time.
Yeah.
I remember, which was 2013, I was at All Saints, obviously, but I can't watch the game.
I can see old mate nodding his head in the...
Yeah. Zaki, our producer today, he
Yeah, they were
agrees.
pretty
He's
good.
a GPS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Highest scoring first 15 of all time. Wow.
Mate, you look at that back line, though. You had Harry Nusafora, obviously played 3 years of Aussie 20s.
Yep.
Mac Mason played Super Rugby as a 10. You had Jaden Sewer at 12, obviously played State of Origin.
Yeah.
Isaiah Parisi at 13.
Oh, mate.
Who were the wing? Brody Croft was on a wing. Kalen Ponga at fullback.
Jesus, good luck,
Like, you look at the team and where they've all ended up, and that's just the back line.
That was the back. The forward still had,
We're not talking about Richie Asiata at prop.
Hocko.
Harry Hawkins.
Wrongers.
Angus Scott Young. Very good schoolboy team.
Yeah.
That's why we chat about it all the time. I wish they broadcasted more of these games. Like,
Yeah.
I've done a few of these boys here every now and again, but imagine seeing these guys in action regularly.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty
Yeah, and I guess it goes both ways. I know New Zealand's bringing theirs back in because there was a small issue for a bit around schoolboys. Schoolboys getting reputations or getting egos, and they'd come into that professional environment and start to sort of flake out because they just had so many expectations or thought they didn't have to train hard because they'd sort of been given the world already.
Yeah.
So they kind of stopped it, and New Zealand's just trying to find a way to, one, get it broadcast, but two, make sure the mindset's good. That could be high.
High shot on Parecki. Looks like it.
Play on.
Well done, Noah.
Now chance down the edge. Here he goes. His first touch.
Did he not go knees down first?
Play on.
Fraser's done well there.
Yeah, we're good.
First game back from broken jaw as well for Joseph.
I'll tell you what, though. The ref's not looking like he wants to blow a penalty because either one of those could have still been a penalty. Great carry, Gleeson.
Which I think is good. Like, if anyone's watched any footy over the last week.
The last 24 hours.
Yeah, like the referees and TMOs and ARs have been
Great
very...
feet.
He looks good here. Jorgensen back inside to Potter.
Where's Parecki? I need
Here they
this
come
money.
now. Wallabies through Wilson.
Bro,
Oh, jeez.
this would be my one thing on Harry Wilson's game.
Yeah.
I think he's an outstanding footballer, but sometimes those offloads he throws like that, it kind of just
Not
kills
needed.
momentum. Yeah, like he holds that, they probably score 2 or 3 phases later. But I love that he plays with intent and love that he tries to sort of make get the points. Oh, that's
that's. I don't know. I reckon that's okay.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I reckon play on every day of the week.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking by the law.
You don't want to ban it?
Oh,
Ban the Stonimal?
I reckon just allow hit
Is that
highs.
coming back? As goes. I tell you what, on I think it might have been Wednesday or Tuesday night. I was watching just some TV at home, and they had a like a history of State of Origin, and it was just the first 3.5 minutes of this 4.5 minute long clip was just blues, full blown brawls, head highs.
Which you don't see that much in the game of Union anymore.
No, well,
we don't see it in either game.
True.
Understandably, but I tell you what, if you're not worried about CTE or people getting knocked out or someone doing some serious issues, it's a good watch.
Here we go. McDermott now. Who did you guys want first try scorer?
I want Parecki. Where is he?
I said
Get
Jorgo.
there.
Gleeson, maybe.
Gleeson. No, held
No, he's
up.
been hung up.
Gleeson.
Good impact.
Good to see him getting a crack too.
Yeah.
We saw plenty of headlines around him going overseas next year, and Joe
Yes.
Schmidt said to him,
Yes.
what have we got here? What are you saying?
Well, they got the penalty, kick for touch, Parecki.
Oh, yeah. Crossfield.
Lane Gleeson, like Joe Schmidt said to him, make it almost impossible for me not to pick you. And
Yeah.
he has a great season for the Waratahs.
He's done
and
exactly
gets
that.
crack. Yeah, which is how it should be, I think.
Which is also good as well, I think, for a coach to come out and almost publicly say that and then reward the player for having a really good season. Like, it's what you need. Because there's so many times you hear of similar stories and blokes have crackers and the coaches still don't pick them or they have an alternate agenda. Forward. It's a bit disheartening, but for this to happen...
Go for it.
There's a chance now. Parecki looking for the first try for Tyler Campbell. And it's Dave Parecki on the board for the Wallabies.
$50.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
And TC cashes in.
Yeah.
How good. I hope you followed you in.
Anyone that I'm going to see after this at Dan Boardman's housewarming, I didn't win.
Yeah, open house at Dan Boardman's house, by the way, again this afternoon. We'll get the address and post it online
sure,
soon.
that'll go well. Yeah.
Everyone's welcome.
Love that. Good start, boys. That rolling wall, get going. Nice.
Yeah, that's good.
I think, Wallabies are looking like they're in very good structure at the moment. And kind of what I was thinking, they'll be very structured early, but they got to keep it this way now. If they can stick in structure, I think that sort of plays into their favour. But if they get a little bit loose, that's when you start seeing Fiji turn it on and the offloads and everything start to stick.
How much you get for him, first try score?
He was at $15. I only chucked 10 on it, so $150.
Mate, that's a bit of value, though, for the people.
Value, yeah.
TC, the sharp. I like that. So we'll see. We'll have the kicking duties. And he converts 5-7. So good start for the Wallabies, boys.
Yeah, first 10 minutes. I think Tyler just said they've been really dominant. The structure's looking really well. Fiji haven't had much of a crack yet, but from what they have, we've been hard on the ball. We turned it over, obviously, and we're just kind of getting into our work. So if this is what we're expecting for the next 70, I think my multi's out the window to start with, but could be a bit of an entertaining game.
Can I just say, boys, we are, how much of a professional operation we are here on the Play-by-Play podcast. We've got in-game stats for you right now.
Oh, yes.
Across the game. So the possession, 77% to Australia, 23% to Fiji early on, 90% territory, as you mentioned, Geordie, dominating up front. 7 defenders beaten for Australia, none for Fiji so far.
Yep.
And you see here the missed tackles, 7 from Fiji, none from
Another
Australia
steal.
so far. So in-game stats, boys, doing the most here.
2 line-out steals already as well.
Yep.
Here he goes.
Oh!
Right on that jaw too.
Bill Mata, he's a big boy.
Knock on there from Akuso Suali'i.
I tell you what, there is nothing worse when you're in that little bit of a wide channel and you're putting feet on and a Fijian comes from your blind spot. I had it happen twice yesterday and was just not expecting. Big Vilakesa and Viliami Lee, both of them.
Yeah.
Big bodies and they kept going that
Mate,
inside.
was Rubaliku at 12 yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, good luck.
And Viliami was at 13.
You did well.
So I was running, and it's probably why I'm so sore today. But they got a couple of good ones on me yesterday, but both great footballers.
Now, just a bit of a tease if you're joining us. We've got some good guests going to join us later in the show. So we've got Hayden Sargent, Aussie Sevens man. He's going to join on pretty shortly. We've got Nick Frisbee, your idol, Jordan Lanack.
My actual idol.
Nick Frisbee, so he's going to stop by. Liam Wright, former Australian captain.
Yep.
Queensland Red. Hopefully he's back from injury soon. Rian Stowers. He used to be a member of the podcast. He just show
Still
up.
a member.
Yeah, he's gonna if he actually shows back up.
He'll be
that'd
back
nice.
in the team soon.
Yeah.
The San Diego Legion. He's gonna stop by as well. For
He's
a
hitting.
chat.
By the way, when that happens, he's in the middle.
In the middle. Oh,
Yeah.
you're gonna keep your spot on the far left.
I think if you can dictate, mate. He's the OG.
I'm just thinking, like, if you put the smallest bloke in the backseat of a car, he sits in the middle. I think the same thing should happen on a couch.
To be fair, I was going to say he's had so many podcast episodes, but you're catching up. The amount of
I don't even think Geordie's within 40.
Yeah, true. You know what?
But quality though.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, if you take Rian's first 20 away.
Yeah.
But now he's media trained. We saw that
trained.
interview.
Yeah, he's very good.
Oh, here we go. We're gonna get. If I'm Fiji, they're gonna get in this kick battle. They're gonna have a go. One thing about Ray Arcee, great left foot, good left foot boot on him. You know what? This is one thing I think rugby's falling into a trap is they will just kick up and down the middle at times.
Yeah.
Like, because they don't want to lose the territory battle. And I understand the tactics around it and everything else that goes with it, and here's a great example. You kick, let the other team make the mistake, but I think it's turning off viewership at times.
Yeah.
Like, there was times in that Tars Lions game last night where I was going, this game is dreadful, because it was just the kick battles, and obviously if you understand the tactical side of things, there is a bit more interesting, but if it's just the fan that's tuning in and trying to see what the hype is around this Lions tour, you're probably watching that going, what the heck is going on?
Yeah, I agree. Just on that Waratahs game, you know the TMO chat about how long they were taking? We saw Morgan go off a bit in the broadcast. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, 100% agree. And I think even times like how far back the TMO goes. We saw it in the All Blacks game with the obstruction call. And then we saw another one where they went 7 phases later and they went back for a knock-on before, like, just randomly blew it up in the middle of play.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I understand it, but, refs aren't going to pick up everything and fans are going to be disappointed. But I think we're going to be more disappointed if we keep having stoppages like that because it just slows down the game and, doesn't make it the entertaining spectacle that we know rugby can be.
Just on that, Charlie Gamble put his hand up, didn't he? He was immense last night, I thought.
I think he's a guy of bad luck.
Yeah.
He's behind 2 quality sevens,
True.
and it reminds me of Australia when they had Pocock, Hooper, and Liam Gill.
Yeah.
Liam Gill was the unlucky guy at that sort of time of his career. So it would be real good to see him maybe get a call-up, but I think with Tizano and Fraser McWright's form throughout the whole of Super Rugby, it's not looking positive for him in that regards, but got to take my hat off to him because he was exceptional last night.
Here's one for you, boy. Just going to test your knowledge, that's for sure. David Scollin, our Canadian Bond University hooker.
Captain Canada.
He's joined. He wants a deep dive on the hot North American topic. With the PNC as Canada's path to the 2027 Rugby World Cup, how crucial are the games against USA, Samoa and Tonga? Boys, do you have a breakdown here? What do you think? Because he wants to try and rebuild Canada's...
I'm trying to read this in his accent.
Oh, yeah, go on.
And I also want to know how many beers he's had because he loves a Sunday morning breakfast beer.
Does he?
How crucial are the games against US?
Samoa, he's trying to rebuild Canada's rugby identity.
I'm going to say very crucial.
Yep.
And that's about it.
I think
I've no idea.
It is a very tough path for Canada because you look at Samoa and Tonga in particular, they've got a bolster of talent of guys that have played for Australia, played for New Zealand, that are coming off their sort of 3-4 year stand down, whatever the time period is now. And, they've got a bit more experience. I think the key for Canada is just, trying to build. USA, I think they can get a job done on. I know the MLR's there, but it just hasn't seemed to translate yet, the MLR.
Yeah, I agree. Got some work to do. Obviously, World Cup is coming up there in a few years' time as well.
But
oh, my God.
Charged out. You see a bit of a mess there. We'll take a moment now. We're going to joining us on the broadcast. It's Jordan Axe, a real hero. 5 caps for the Australian Wallabies. GPS legend. 66 for the Queensland Reds. Nick Frisby. Hello, Frizz.
Hey, boys. Thanks for having me on. Been listening along, enjoying the show, fellas. Great chat.
Mate, for a man that's the number 1 analyst in Australia these days, what do you make so far? Are you happy?
I just want to show you this first, Jordan.
Yeah, you love it, eh?
Yeah, big fan of that, mate. That's great.
So can I discuss this, Nick? Obviously, I've worked with him a bit. Broncos diehard. He comes in for ready to do a rugby union broadcast. Goes, mate, you see the Broncos last night? Just loves it. Frizz, what's doing, mate? What's doing?
Mate, I am just an absolute diehard. Just have loved the Bronx my whole life. I think I'm getting worse in my old age. It's actually not healthy how much I love them. And my wife and kids have to go and hide whenever there's a Bronx game on because I just go ballistic. But I am getting back into my union. I obviously follow along. I love the Reds and follow the Wallabies. I don't watch. I'm not an avid watcher, but I always follow along. I am watching the Wallabies now. I'd flip my camera if I knew how to prove it to you. I swear I am watching.
So, yeah, I guess we'll get it stuck in, mate. What have you made of it so far? First test of the Wallabies. The big one, obviously, Tate McDermott getting the crack at 9. How do you sort of see that?
Yeah. Yeah, I heard Geordie Lanack speaking before about having Jake Gordon there. I'm a big Tate fan personally. I think he's our best halfback in Australia. Purely just because he's got...
Try time Harry Potter in the corner there, Frizz.
Yeah, lovely.
No,
they've looked sharp. Oh, that's devastating.
No good. As you were, mate, sorry.
Yeah, I think Tate's our best halfback. He's the only guy that's got that real X factor about him. He's a real out-and-out match winner. And I think that's really important at this level. I like Jake Gordon as our, number 2. Or if he starts, I think Tate's got to be on the bench. I just don't know what we get out of having Nick White on the bench. I love White. He's a great fella. Awesome player. And I get, the experience and composure coming off the bench. But, if Tate's not starting, I think him coming off the bench just gives us so much more punch. In terms of the actual game, they've been good. The Wallabies have looked sharp. It's just probably those few little errors that are letting them down. A bit of patience stuff, Noah hitting the crossfield kick when they're on the attack. Wilso with that loose offload before. I think at test level, and especially against like the Lions, you just can't afford to give away those little errors when you're on attack. Like, you've got to really make those moments count.
Yeah, I agree. Before the boys have a few questions for you, Frizz, I believe you have a good James Slipper story over the years when you've been a long-time Wallaby and red with that man.
Yeah, I got a couple of good stories about Slips. He's one of my favourites. Probably the first thing that comes to mind is, how on earth is he still playing? Like, I remember when I was playing with him, he was busted every week, and it was like a real battle day in, day out just to get himself back up for games. And here he is still going for bloody 150 test caps and 200 Super Rugby caps, which is just ridiculous. But one of the great blokes, Slips, and one of the great characters, I suppose, like a little bit undercover. Like, he doesn't give too much away, Slips, and he's a pretty quiet fella. But he's a guy that was always keen for like a beer after a game. He never really liked going out or anything. He always just liked having one or two blokes back to his house, and he'd sit there, drink his red wine and smoke his durries. He loved smoking the durry back when he was younger. And that was awesome for me. Like, he was the first guy I saw. It was like, he was a Wallaby at that stage and still just did it like how he wanted to do it. And I thought that was awesome. But probably like a bit like how I was myself. But yeah, we had a Reds reunion on Wednesday actually, and one of the boys told me this story, and I thought it'd be good to share. But on a South Africa trip one night, we played the Sharks in Durban, and like, we've just had this massive night out. Got home at like 5 or 6 back to the hotel, and we've got like an 8:30, 9 o'clock flight from Durban to Cape Town. And anyway, like, we jump on the flight, and the boys, like, everyone's just in all sorts, like, it's some serious hurt getting around. And Slips, like, stands up down the back and passes out on the flight, and like passes out across a row of people, and then like throws up on himself. And I'm sitting down the front just completely unaware as to what has happened. We get off in Cape Town, and it's like they just froth their rugby there. So like, every airport, there's fans there waiting for you. And we're all getting off in like our Reds polos and our Reds travel kit. And Slips has had to change, and the only thing we could find to put him on the flight was a pair of Qantas pajamas, and someone had a pair of slippers. And so, like, we've all got off looking sharp, and his Slips being escorted off in the plane in his Qantas pajamas and slippers. It was an absolute scene at Cape Town Airport.
That's all time.
Oh, he's sounding more and more like his brother Will.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, well, I played with Tom Slipper. There's a lot of the Slipper boys. They run hot. Tyler Campbell, any questions for the great man?
Oh, while we're on the topic, I guess, of Fiji, mate, what is your thoughts on them as athletes? Like, I personally think they're some of the best athletes on the planet. Do you have any sort of, I guess, good stories or memories of playing against sort of Fijian players?
Yeah, heaps. I couldn't agree more, Tyler. Like, I played with a couple of handy ones myself. Like, Sam McGrevy's probably the first guy that comes to mind. Big Radicki. Played with him at the Reds and at Jeeps. And just an absolute freak of an athlete. I was going through this Fijian side before, actually, but Tuasova, I remember I played him in France. He was playing for Toulon. And I just spent all week being like, fuck, I hope that this guy goes nowhere near me on the field. Like, I was just shitting myself. And because he gets a bit loose over there, because the refereeing's a bit like, how you going? Like, he's like flipping blokes on their head and just like flying out of the line and just like head high in blokes. And it's all sort of like play on. I was like, oh my God, I've never been so scared of anyone in my life. And thank God he got red carded in the first 5 minutes. I've never been so relieved in my life. Bill Marta, another one. Geordie Linac, was he still at Edinburgh when you were in Glasgow?
Yeah, mate. My first game when I got there, I'd been there maybe 2 weeks, and we played a Glasgow A versus Edinburgh A game at Scotstoun in the snow. And I don't know what happened, but he was playing for Edinburgh. Oh my God, he hit me so hard. I did like one of those like horizontal helicopter things. I got up and I was like, I don't know what's going on. Why am I here? This is cold. It sucks, but. Yeah, mate, he's an absolute
It's not what
athlete.
you want to see lining up for an A game.
God,
Big
no.
Bill Marta. But he is a scary man, hey?
Yeah.
I just remember, here's another one, like, and just a freak athlete, like you were saying, Tyler, like, enormous body, big, physical, but, like, fast, just holding the ball like it's a a peanut, offloading. Oh, just an awesome player.
And the thing that gets me though, the athletes like that, but they barely gym. Like I remember when I was with Sevu,
They're not
like,
allowed to.
It's a bit like Nick Frisbee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
much
Sevu-
like myself. Never touched a weight.
Yeah, me and Sevu were coming through Waikato at the time, and I was like in the gym, couldn't put on any weight. He would do half an hour and run to go play pool in the team room, and he was just getting bigger and faster. And it's like, I just want those genetics. Sometimes you just wish you were blessed with it.
Nick Frisbee, from one Glasgow Warrior to another. Joy Lanack, what do you got for the big man?
Mate, I just think, obviously, Lions Tour, it's coming up for someone who's played at the top level, both Southern Hemisphere and Northern Hemisphere. If you were to sort of put the difference between the two games in sort of 2 or 3 words, what would it be, playing from the cold up north to nice fast track down south?
Oh, it's a hard question, eh? 2 or 3 words.
Yeah.
I guess up north, like, it is a very different game, isn't it? Like, it's more direct, physical, more forwards orientated.
Yep.
Like, the set piece is way more important. Kicking for goal, like penalty kicks and having good goal kickers is way more important. Whereas I guess like the conditions down here, down south, obviously all that stuff's still important, but the conditions just allow us to play like a bit more of a free flowing game. But I reckon that's something that those teams now have become really good at. Like Ireland, Scotland's a really good example, Geordie. Like you'd know from being at Glasgow, like they decided years ago that in Glasgow that they were just going to play like Southern Hemisphere footy, and obviously help having like Kiwi coaches, and they just threw the ball around and they like fucking dominated that competition. The sides like Leinster and Munster, like, they just didn't really know how to defend against that style of footy.
Yeah.
And I think you've seen that now translate into a few of the national teams. Like Scotland actually play a really decent brand of footy. Ireland at times, you know, it's still forwards orientated, but they've brought a heap more shape into their game as well. I honestly reckon that URC, I don't know, Tyler, you said the top 14 is the best comp in the world at the moment. And I like the top 14 is good. There's probably like 5 or 6 real good teams, but then there's some shit at the bottom. But I reckon that URC, I reckon that's the best comp in the world at the moment.
Do you reckon that the fields have a bit of have had a big shift in that? Like a lot of teams are now gone to really high quality 4G pitches as opposed to sticking to grass in terms of making like
absolutely.
a dry track?
Yeah, well, as you know, Joy, the grass just turns to absolute slop. It doesn't even have to be wet and raining, just like the cold. It never bloody dries up. And when you're having scrums and mauls and rucks and shit on a sloppy field, it just makes a mess. I hated the 4G. I don't know how you found it, but like just wrecked my knees, and not that I had any of my calves. I just got sick of having grazes and stuff all over my body as well.
I just got into the habit of just putting that Fixamol over every joint possible. If I could
Yeah.
pull my socks up, pull them up as high as they go, rip the skins down to almost just those above knee ones, like the proper under 12 specs. Just cover up any bit of loose skin you could.
The Nick Ray.
Yeah.
Mate, did you get into, at Glasgow, Geordie, did you get into the taping up the fingers?
Oh, mate, I was on it. Every finger.
What? Because it's so cold. Is that?
Oh, I don't know what was going on, but
They just tape their
It's
fingers.
like the Japanese style, didn't it?
yeah. No, I saw George Horn doing
apparently.
one day, and I was like, you know what, I'll give that a crack, and then it kind of stuck. But then the thing was, you get that, you tape up, you get the sticky spray, and then all of a sudden you get those black crumbs that actually stick to the tape on your fingers,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you look like you're just walking around with sausages on your fingers. So
I like it.
it's good fun.
Yeah. I think the theory was they reckon it gave him better grip. I saw Moses Sorovi try it one day at training at the Reds, and Brad told him, Brad Thorne said, "Get the fuck off the field."
I love it. On that same vein, Nick Frisbee, obviously, you know, both played in Glasgow. I believe there's a pool cue story that Geordie's floating around. Something. What's going on here, mate?
Just before this started, mate, when I got there, I don't know what was in the water, but someone heard that there's a new halfback coming in from Australia, and I had some seriously big boots to fill. And then I started hearing stories, and I was like, I don't know if I can step up to this. But I heard that the Rock was your place to be. Is that right?
Well, Geordie, you know the story. I've been and ahhing whether I could actually tell it or not. So you be the judge of if I can tell it. But
I'd say not. But
Okay.
yeah, it's a good one. I think it just really showed your enthusiasm to have fun.
that stage of my career, like I'd sort of done everything I wanted to in Australia. I was pretty over footy, to be honest. Like, my only reason I was overseas was so I could travel with the missus and, like, have a bit of fun. And, you know, I was third string halfback at Glasgow, played once every 4 weeks when the big boys wanted to rest. So, like, I had to find a way to have fun.
Yeah.
Great story. I'll have to tell it.
It is, yeah.
Another time, but involves a pool cue, a split Jap's eye, and a pint of vodka. So
Do the math on
maybe
that, eh?
fill in the blanks at home.
Yeah.
Oh, I love your work, Nick Frisby. Any other questions for the boys for Nick before I let him go?
No, mate, that's everything. That's been a real treat.
Unreal.
Nick, thank you, mate. I really appreciate it. Great to work alongside you every week, mate, and thanks for stopping by.
Oh, pleasure, boys. Geordie, you know you're the real star of the show, mate. And well done yesterday, boys. Good win for the Bondies as well. Good luck
Cheers
for
for
the
that,
back
mate.
end of the year.
Yeah, good to see. And obviously great to be on the call yesterday. Western Brothers, what a cracker. That was Nick Frisby. Thank you very much. He's good, isn't he?
Good value. Great value.
Well, what a life. Just play every 4 weeks, travel around Europe, France.
I think that is one of the benefits as well when you go over there. Obviously, it's not, if you're like really keen to play and get involved, it's probably not ideal. But at the same time, like, if you're either a young fella coming up or if you're like Pickle where you just want to go and have a bit of fun and travel the world and still get into it, like that is one of the massive benefits of having big squads and running in 2 or 3 different competitions at one time. Like, you do get rest and you get rolled in and out, which is good.
Just on Nick Frisby, you meet a lot of people in this world. He is one of the genuine good blokes, Nick Frisby. Absolute legend of a guy.
Yeah.
As we see a bit of the action now, it's a bit of an arm wrestle, boys. A bit scrappy. 26 gone, 7-0 the score. Tyler?
Yeah, I think Aussie or the Wallabies really soon need to get back to structure and get into this game. Otherwise, this is what Fiji want. They want it to be a dogfight. They want it to be scrappy, and they want it to be messy because we know when they're on, they're the best counter-attack team in the world. So I think Aussie just need to take a breath here, get back into their set. I think they're a bit slow to the breakdown at the moment. And did you see there? They end up getting a tip just because they're slightly slow. So I don't think that's a penalty personally, but I just think they've got to be a little bit more structured and find their rhythm again.
Rian Stowers has jumped in quickly on the text line. Tell Geordie he'll be in the middle. He's laying down the law.
All right. That's
I'm
fine.
just actually proud he's watching.
Yeah, good to see. Thank you.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm good with that.
Rian Stowers, of course, San Diego Legion legend now. He'll be joining us at half-time as well. We'll go back to one of the questions we saw in the pre-game about the All Blacks. I want to touch on, Tyler. Obviously, a team close to your heart. They were expected to spank the French yesterday. A depleted side. I think they were playing $8. In the end, it was 31-27, I believe. Too close for comfort? Like, what's your assessment of that?
Yeah, like when watching it, I thought we were very dominant, and I thought, okay, we're going to run away with this. And credit to the French team. I think, obviously, they're a passionate nation, and, they've kind of been our bogey team for years. You think 2007 World Cup, they upset us. We struggled against them in the final. Pregame off.
Yeah, Pregame off.
Jeez.
Big call. Billy Pollard coming on.
Lucky you got that try scoring.
Yeah, but I think, we didn't take our opportunities when we had them. I think we gave a lot of breakdown penalties. France were really good at disrupting the breakdown. I think you look at the 3 disallowed tries. I thought the Proctor one was a bit harsh because I feel like if you slow down every try, there's always going to be that little bit of separation. So, I'm not sitting here ringing alarm bells. It probably wasn't our best performance, but in, I guess hindsight, looking back at it, it was the first test of the year. We were trying new combinations. We had 4 debutants. So, I'm not reading into it too much, but I expect them to be a lot better next week.
Will Jordan 2 tries, forced to go to the wing early on too. Sevier, so it's a pretty ugly knockout.
Yeah.
And then D-Mac onto the field early. Thoughts around that?
Yeah, obviously, when you're taking Sevier off and you're bringing D-Mac on, you're probably not losing too much. But I do think Will Jordan was arguably one of the best players out there on the field.
Yeah.
Scored 2 tries.
Yep.
And I think he was a big loss in that fullback role because just the way he hits onto the ball and creates the extra number. It'll be interesting to see what they do next week, whether they bring Caleb Clark back onto the wing, whether they persist with Billy Proctor. I don't think Billy Proctor had the best of games. He made a few poor defensive reads early on, but whether they persist with that, it'll be interesting to see if there's any changes in what they're looking at moving forward.
Thoughts on, do you see them all wearing the neon Adidas boots?
Yeah.
Back in the day, they used to do that. Thoughts on that? Like, do they have to do that? Is it like, do you have to wear all the same boots?
Okay, so
Yeah, this is your...
I don't know if it's still the same, but I do remember hearing back when I was there that they all have to wear Adidas boots when they play for the All Blacks.
Yep.
That's the agreement. But there's also a thing if they wear Adidas boots throughout Super Rugby, that if they win the Rugby Championship, it's like a $50K bonus.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's a bit of money incentive behind it. If someone's saying, here, have 10 grand to wear our boots, I'll tell you for free, I'm wearing those boots.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's why a lot of it sort of comes down to that. And I know, like, Maddie Levi's made the switch, for example, from Essex to Adidas, and I know she's getting a lot more in her contract because obviously they're a bigger market and they're a
international brand.
So yeah, there's big benefits to wearing those boots for them.
We'll touch on, as we get our Hayden Sargent will join us in the next 5 minutes or so. But yesterday, Freeze mentioned it, Premier Rugby, big win over South, 34-33. Great game from you. You weren't there. What happened, Geordie?
I wasn't there.
What's going on?
All right, before he makes up a story.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
He is the first 27-year-old
Yep.
white male to miss a game of rugby because he got gout.
Got gout.
No. So in the short, I did.
Blood infection.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
so in the short, I woke up on Friday morning after training Thursday night, and my foot was a bit sore. And to be blatantly honest, it did have all the signs and symptoms of gout. And I went to work at the hospital and caught one of the doctors walking past and sort of gave him a rundown. And he was like, "Mate, exactly that. You're 27. You're Caucasian. Like, it's not gout." Anyway, so I just kind of got on with it. By the end of the day, I couldn't put any weight through my foot. My foot had blown up. It had started moving up my leg in towards the top of my knee, getting some pain in my groin. Anyway, Saturday morning, woke up, was in all bits, called Hino, was like, "Mate, I don't know what's going on." Had to go to the emergency doctor. Yeah, the doctor was even like, "I don't know what's going on, but it's not gout." But by all accounts, it sounds like some sort of blood infection. So, yeah, pumped me full of antibiotics and blood thinners in case there might have been a little blood clot in there. But, yeah, I don't know what happened. It's still pretty sore, but, yeah, it was pretty random.
Hell of a story just to come back to us saying that you've got gout.
Tyler's is laughing at you. Paul was going through a tough time.
Mate, I thought I was going to have to chop my leg off.
No, because this is payback
No,
because last year when I had my
Yeah.
knee inflamed, everyone said I had gout.
Yeah.
Earlier this year, Geordie went for a blood test and he had all the markers to say that he was going to get gout. And sure enough, his big toe
You
gets...
convinced me to this to Liam Danielle. You talked into existence, mate.
And then
Bloody hell.
he sends me a text message saying, "My big toe hurts. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to play tomorrow." And first thing, I sent him back a photo of gout and just started laughing my head off. But hopefully it's not gout and we get him back on the field next week.
You saw the photo. I sent you a photo of my foot, and it was actually not great.
Yeah,
But,
swollen and red's never a good sign.
yeah.
Spencer says this. Not here to listen to hear Geordie whinge.
I think he's referring to you.
No,
actually,
I don't
not
think
me.
so, mate. And Rian texts me straight away. Goes, "It was definitely gout."
I've got good friends.
Love that. So we'll touch on that performance a bit later. Great performance from you, mate. 2 tries as well. But we got a great man joining us on the line. Former Bull Shark, Australian
Here we
Sevens,
go.
playmaker Hayden Sargent. Hello, Sarge. How are you, brother?
Hey fellas, how are ya?
You just hang up the call now. Don't even worry about this.
Another TSS guy joining the show. How we doing, mate? How's Sydney treating you?
Yeah, it's lovely. It's perfect weather today. Perfect for a day of footy.
What do you make of the game so far? You watching this?
Yeah, watching it live right now. I think the front row for Australia's been really good so far. I think they're really setting the tone. I love the way Noah's demanding the ball. And I would obviously love to see them hold the ball a little bit longer. But I also have a gut feeling that they're obviously trying a few new starters that they might throw at the Lines.
Yeah. And for you,
Like that.
yeah, like exactly that.
Yeah.
Now he goes
that's
Tommy Wright down the
exceptional
left
from
edge
Len.
here. Yeah, good little kick there. Jorgensen's going right as well. Sarge, so where are you at the moment? You on a bit of time off now? What's going on?
Yeah, we just started back at pre-season 2 weeks ago. So back into the Bronco testing as
Jeez.
Sevens.
What are you
as
running?
Sevens loves.
What's your time, Sarge?
We're 440 at the moment.
Is that good? I don't know.
I did that once.
That's pretty good.
Once.
Yeah, one time.
I guess for you, Sarge, Aussie Sevens campaign this year, I guess up and down for the men's side. You had a great season, getting regular starting opportunities. I guess what do you make of the year as a whole for you boys?
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, obviously really tough. A bit of a roller coaster year, we probably described it. But we got a new coach in, and I think we found our rhythm towards the back end of the year. And unfortunately, in the final in LA, we just lost on for and against, which probably cost us going through to the semi.
Obviously, a lot of debutants to share, and I've actually heard, I don't know how true it is, you've got quite a new squad going into next season. 2 weeks into pre-season, how do you reckon you're looking, and I guess how do you feel you are moving forward?
Yeah, really good. It's obviously really nice, as both you boys would know, that when you're coming into second year with the same coach, it obviously runs a lot quicker and a lot smoother with everyone already knowing the previous call. So, yeah, I'm really excited for the year ahead.
Geordie Lanack?
I mean, me and Sarge speak quite regularly, so there's probably nothing that I want to talk on a personal basis, but probably probably from a footy basis, I think similar question as what I just asked Pickle a minute ago. Obviously, Gold Coast boy, grew up. The move isn't quite as far down to Sydney, but you've obviously been around some of the shoot games. You've not played in any of them yet yourself, but if you were to sort of compare those two competitions, for those who probably aren't that well versed between the two, how do you reckon we go? Because I know the conversation probably 5 or 6 years ago was that shoot was probably the standpoint of Australian rugby, but just what do you reckon for someone who's been in and around both?
Yeah, no, I totally think that was definitely the case a few years ago. And I was actually at the Wicks v Uni game at Coogee yesterday. So the standard-wise, I think very, very similar. I think both New South Wales and Queensland top 5 teams would be very competitive with each other. I think, I'd love to see a battle in the future where the top 4 from both Queensland and New South get to verse each other for the title. But yeah, very similar. I don't think that's the case anymore where it used to be that Shoot Shield was the top dog. I think they're pretty similar these days.
What about the social side of it all? Obviously, Wicks are pretty well renowned for having some good crowds, good community involvement. Obviously, the QPR doesn't really have that yet, apart from maybe if you go to Brothers or Jeeps or
East, mate.
East or North even.
Boxing
North
night at
are
East.
pretty good.
Yeah.
But they obviously get massive crowds to those games down there. In terms of playing atmosphere, obviously you didn't play, but just being around it, do you think it sort of lifts those boys up even more and puts a little bit more on the line?
Yeah, absolutely. I find the following down here a lot bigger. I guess like each suburb really gets around their team. I guess you've got like the Battle of the Beaches, the Battle of the East. It's just such a big event down here. Each week it's almost full at each game, while Queensland Rugby is probably just a little bit behind unless you are at those games like Brothers or even Jeeps on a good day.
Sarji, I want to get your take on the Indian Premier League we've seen going on at the moment. Obviously, Hutch over there, Turner as well. Were you close for a sniff at that, or what's your thoughts on the concept overall?
Yeah, it's a very exciting concept. I think this year was a bit of a trial year to see how it panned out, and I think the results were really good. We obviously saw the winning team quite dominant, so I'm looking forward to how it's going to progress over the years coming. I think it's a really exciting prospect to combine the best players in the world in the same team and offer good money on the side of that too.
All right, we spoke about it before. We're talking about schoolboy footy. We're talking about our first 15. I got asked, is the best try you've ever scored still the one where you broke the little kid from Ipswich's ankles?
Yeah.
We're going to have to get this highlight up.
I've ever scored, but it's one that I still like to pull up and show people and pretend I'm that quick still.
I can still remember your face as you were going down the sideline, mate. You had the tongue out like a dog hanging out of a window.
Headgear
on. The little prance going. You were loving
We've gone to the crowd's gone crazy.
Yeah, crowd goes
He's done
wild.
the in and out. It's one of the best. And it was a day we'd actually put on a hell of a performance too. And Sarge just caps it off with an unbelievable try.
Yeah.
The great man, Hayden Sargent.
It was a fun one. It was a great day.
Now, Sargent, before we let you go, obviously you're a man that travels around the world playing rugby. A lot of different blokes coming in and out. I'm sure a lot of mishaps as well. Any fun tour stories you got for the boys of your time, mate, you can share? Oh, that's PG enough.
Oh, jeez. Well, you really put me on the spot here. No, there's always a good time out. With sevens especially, you train so hard, and you're such a tight-knit group of boys that at the end of the 2 weeks, you always look forward to a beer or a few drinks after to celebrate the result and, celebrate the hard work that you put in to even get to where you are. So in regards to stories, might have to save that one for either a James Turner or Michael Isley special. They're usually best on ground on a sevens night out, so I'll leave it up to those boys to tell the stories.
Any scare cam, Sarge? I know back in the day you used to be one to sort of hide in cupboards and jump out and do a little girl scream and try and get a reaction. Are you doing any of that still on tour?
No, I still do love a scare cam. Jaden Blake, rookie this year, he seems to be my current target. Oh, here we go, the Wallabies down
Here
the
we
west
go.
edge.
Hey,
Razor.
McWright.
Yeah, you called it. That's another one.
That's another one. Phil, I pulled that. Both of us on that,
Mate,
Tyler.
I'd be great, but Harry Potter got denied.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Potter was
We're
in
on the
it
money.
too.
Fraser McWright always finding a try.
I
great
got one
stuff
for you,
there.
Sarge. So
Yeah.
I've done Dubai, Hong Kong. Obviously did Hamilton when it was there, and I've done the when it was on the Goldie. But do you have like a city that you think's the best for sort of the party atmosphere, like for the whole event, including the actual sevens?
Yeah, without a doubt, it's London, Twickenham.
Oof.
Yeah, right.
Really?
No longer on the circuit this year, but I'm hearing whispers that it might be on its way back. But yeah, the atmosphere is second to none. You hear people say Twickenham, the home of rugby, and it was a full house when we were there. And I don't really know how to describe it or put it into words that well, but you walk through from underneath the tunnel, and as you walk out, you kind of walk through their version of a festival, which is outside the stadium. And the only thing separating you from, I guess, the festival part is like a 1/2 metre high white fence. And it's late in the day. Everyone's had a few beers or a few drinks deep, and you're getting support or abuse, whatever it may be. And then you walk back through it, roll out to the game, and a full house at Twickenham. And it's hard to even hear the person inside and out of you. It's just such a great atmosphere, and it's one that anyone goes, what event should we go to? London would be the one for me.
I like it.
We've got the great man Jaden Amanu here on the chat line showing us the love for you, Sargi. I believe Jade's is over in Europe, isn't he?
Nah, he's
No,
back.
he's just back.
He's
now,
back,
I think
yeah.
he just got back.
You guys had a great combination back in the day, you two, Sarge.
Yeah, Jaden, an absolute weapon at 15 there. I would have loved to see him get a bit more of a crack with the Reds. I was listening to Tyler speak about Lenny's left foot. I think Jaden's up there as well. Jaden and Lenny were a
100.
lethal combo back at school. They were pretty untouchable when you could get those two, in and outside of each other.
And Sarge, before we let you go, where's the first stop for you? Where can we see you play next?
Our pre-season will take us over to New Zealand this year, I believe. We get to have a few internal hit-outs against the Kiwis, and then it starts off again against Dubai, Cape Town at the end of the year.
Yeah, good. We'll leave it there. Anything else for Sargi, boys?
No.
All good.
No, all good, mate.
Thank you, Sargi. Really appreciate you stopping by, mate. Keep doing what you're doing, mate, and we'll talk to you soon as Fiji score here right on half-time. Thank
Another
you,
one, boys.
Thank you, Hayden.
Thanks, Sarge.
It's another one.
As we see, was that Rayasi?
Yep.
Oh, he's on an absolute
If
clinic.
Harry Potter scored, I'd have all my try scorers.
Mate, we could have...
I think at this point, I'm just giving money away to Sportsbet and the lads and whoever else wants to take it, because I cannot pick a winner out of anything.
No, you're flying. So this is what Fiji can do to you too. Tuasova got above the pack.
Yeah,
Kuruvolu, I
mid
think
to
it
it.
was, at 9, and then Rayasi.
God, that's terrifying.
Oh, I'm going to be gutted if this Harry Potter try is what cost me.
Oh, you got another second
In the
half,
long
mate.
run.
Trust you'll
Yeah.
come good.
Yeah. That's 2 of 3 try scorers. Now I just need Australia to win by 8, and under 77 points is looking good.
That's
Yeah.
unreal. The left wing of there, he's beaten 3 defenders. Suoli on the inside. This play here.
I will say this is a big momentum swing because I think this is the first time Fiji's actually been in the 22 the whole game.
Yeah.
I will also say that was a dumb decision to put that little chip in over the top. They had 2 options there. They could have gone to half. They could have kept the ball. But one thing you never want to do against Fiji is give them a chance to score before the half.
Free ball.
They can score from anywhere, and we've just seen it there because that was an unbelievable try. So I think Aussie might be getting a bit of a spray in the sheds.
Yeah, tough one. Quickly, obviously, Hayden Sargent too. Great to see that, man. He's this year has been his best yet. He is really, and he's going to be one of the veterans in that side next year as well.
I tell you, if it could have happened to anyone going through any sort of pathways in rugby, it should have happened to Sarge. Like, he worked so hard since we finished school, all the way through. Never kind of gave up. Had some seriously unlucky calls go against his way, but yeah, it just goes to show, like, be persistent. Obviously, he's an unreal athlete, but I think once he got himself into a full-time setup, like, he has just turned it up a whole other level.
I don't want to step on anyone's toes when I say this, but he deserved that shot years ago.
Yeah,
100%.
In particular in the sevens field, I think the way he was playing in the Queensland comp, the way he played for Queensland for years, I thought he should have actually got a gig with the Australian sevens. And same thing sort of went with Rian too. I thought they were dominant, and I guess it's hard. Aussie's got to make the decision whether they relocate boys down to Sydney. But they finally gave him his chance, and you'd argue he's one of their best players this year. So good to see him get that crack finally. But definitely thought he was deserving of it years ago.
Because I remember talking to him, the matter like back and forth, those trial camps he'd do. Coming
Yeah.
to Sydney for the weekend and back and forth. And
Yeah.
good to see you doing his thing.
And the hard thing is, like, and it happens with Sevens, sometimes they have this big thing of looking for athletes.
Yep.
But you get a guy like Sarge in the halves that sort of has a good understanding for the game. For a little guy, he's an outstanding defender, and he's someone that's got great footwork and create opportunities, and I just think he deserved that chance. But they probably persisted more the other way of guys that are a bit more athletic, a bit more height to them, a bit more size, because you do go against big sides. So I'm glad he got that chance because I think he's proved a lot of people wrong since he's been in there.
I like it. And speaking of athletes, we have the great man joining us. Here he is.
he's back.
Here he is. Ours. For the first time in a long time, the San Diego Legion flyer. Hello, Regan, mate. Good to see you, brother.
Bolivar Nasty Brothers, how are you?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Was down at College's Old Boys last night, so
How'd that
feeling
go?
really good today.
Nice. Mate, look at that. You see with that bloody mop going. Look at the hair on you
it's
now.
long.
Jesus.
Oh, it's disgusting now, but I'm just going to keep it, I might go skull it soon. Take all the top off.
Like Tonga.
Firstly, mate, congratulations. Your first professional season with San Diego. Obviously, you're starting one week, carving, and then you're out the next. I guess, how do you sum it up overall?
Well, I played one of the worst games of my life over there, so after that, it was trying to get back into trying to get the coach's trust back. It was just, I'd never played in cold weather like that before, and I honestly could not feel my hands. And I think I had a 100% success rate of dropping the ball every time I touched it, so it wasn't good.
That's a good start.
Was that New England game in Boston, Ree?
Yeah, that was the one.
Yeah,
I hope you didn't see it.
No, I watched it. Yeah, tough one for you. I guess you've had some absolute highlight reel moments, though. What was it like playing at home, too? It looked like a bit of a vibe there.
Yeah, definitely. The fans there, they're pretty diehard, eh? There was this one lady, she had the cowbell as well. They stopped letting her bring it into the stadium. She was going too hard with it. But yeah, she was good. She gave us all letters as well once the season finished up, saying how much she appreciated us, and it was pretty cool to see that Americans are fully getting into the rugby scene at the moment.
Yeah, the boys have some questions for you, surely. But yeah, on that, Major League Rugby, for someone that you've been there on the ground, what's it like as a comp, rugby in the day-to-day? Is it trending in the right direction over in the States?
I think so, definitely. Before I went over there, everyone was telling me, "Oh, you're gonna kill it." It's like the level was pretty low, but once I got over there, I've never played such physical rugby in my life. I was sitting there on the bench thinking, "Holy shit, where am I gonna run it out here?" Everyone is flying at you.
Tyler?
Yeah, I guess I'll add on to that. How do you see it as a pathway, sort of now into getting into professional rugby, and I guess picking up further gigs from there? Could you see it as a pathway not only for yourself but also for other young guys that are sort of looking for the opportunity to train full time and play in a different country?
Yeah, 100%. I think if you get the opportunity to go over there, it's obviously a pathway. That's not the final result. You don't want to stay over there, but it's definitely something that you can put on your resume. And you have a couple good games over there, and definitely there's pathways to go Japan or something else. It's just that step higher than club rugby. I was doing not too bad over here with club rugby, but couldn't get anything for ages, and then my agent got me a gig over there, and then straight after a couple games, now I'm going to Japan soon. So yeah, it's definitely a good pathway.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
Mate, Japan contract, congratulations. That's huge.
Hey,
Wait, what? Oh shit! I thought I already told you.
No,
you told me.
yeah.
I wasn't sure if you'd broken the news.
You don't tell me anything, mate.
That's why I gave you that question openly, to wondering if you're actually going to tell them.
I don't think I was meant to say that.
No.
I know, that's what I was like.
Yeah.
I gave you an open end.
Just rewind it back.
Anyway, we'll move along. Live TV, baby.
We're not live, it's all
live
right.
TV.
Yeah.
Julian, Mac, any questions for the big dog?
No, I think probably a similar question to TC. Obviously, we've kind of seen it over the last couple of years, boys using it as a bit of a stepping stone to go somewhere else, or even fellas who are kind of trying to wind down their career end up there. There's obviously some big names and big talent over there. So from your perspective, who was probably the toughest or a few of the toughest boys to come up against playing in that comp?
Oh, I'm really shocking with names, but there was this little number 6 from Miami Sharks, and that guy was a bloody nutcase. He was a freak. He was a freak. And I'm not too. I'm pretty sure he's an international player as well, but yeah, I can't remember his name. And then obviously like going up against Christian Lilley final,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
like the likes of that, and playing with Jed Holloway, bro. He is honestly like a genetic freak. At all of our trainings, he's hitting nines for what is it, meters
Speed,
or
meters per second.
yeah.
Sort
He
of
is
like a
so fast.
32, 33 kilometers.
Right.
Yeah, it's quick.
He flies, bro. He's a freak, and like his knowledge of the game, second to none. And then, bro, Lincoln McClutchy, I rate him so high after playing with him and just like being around him, like the knowledge that he has as well, and all of our team reviews. It was like being next to Tyler, honestly. That's how I'd lay it down for you. Is being next to Tyler in a team review. It's the same sort of thing with Lincoln.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, like how it go against Lincoln, because obviously I played him when he was playing for Hawke's Bay when he was fresh out of school. Had some
Yeah.
time with Moana and stuff. Do you reckon he's a little bit unlucky to not have something a little bit higher? Because I always thought he was quality. I know he's a little fella, but his ability to break the line, but also his ability to see space, I think second to none. So would you agree that you think he's a little bit unlucky to not be playing at a higher level still?
Definitely unlucky to not be playing at a high level. Bro, when I got over there, I thought that he was like 30. He's my age.
Yeah, he's young.
Wow.
Bro, he's my age, and like his knowledge, and that's what I mean. Like when I got over there, I did not know that he was the same age as me, just because of how he carries himself, his professionalism. Like every time we're in the gym, he's doing 100 passes against the wall, and he does that without failure every single day. So like that professionalism that he carries, I don't know how he's not got a better gig than Legion.
Ree, you mentioned it briefly, but I guess the level between QPR and MLR, a big step up, you find?
Yeah, I thought it was a massive step up. The connection on D, finding space, it's definitely a lot harder. You got people that it's their full time job, so the fitness level's high, the physicality high, probably the skill set I would say in the QPR comp is maybe sort of similar level, just because the difference between the gun players and the players that are finding their way into professional rugby. But yeah, I think it's definitely the highest level of rugby that I've ever played.
What about off field, Ree?
Yeah, I was going to ask, what's San Diego like? I was
Yeah.
there a few years ago. It's a good spot to go out. What would you make of it?
Oh, it was such a good spot, and we had like quite a few Islander boys, so we honestly didn't go out too much. We'd just probably sit at the house, have some kava, have a couple beers, just talk shit.
How good. That's what you do very well, brother. What you do very well. So you're going to come back to the potty, mate? You're going to join us soon, or what's doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna come back. When's the next one?
Yeah, okay. Where are you sitting on the couch?
Right here, brother. Right here.
No, I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
in the middle.
You are.
That's a
He
joke.
wants his
That
Beats
is a
headphones,
joke.
Yeah.
and he's sitting on the far left.
Right here. Look, that
That's
looks
a
looks
joke.
nice. Look, we can
Well, I
actually
was
we can get a
gonna-
bit closer if you want. We'll really tighten it
I
up.
was gonna rock up to your house today because I thought it was at your house, and I was gonna be like surprised, but then I think he's in a full-on studio, and I was like, what the fuck?
Bro, I literally
Oh.
explained to you what we're doing, honestly.
Sorry.
You can swear, it's fine.
He's lost a bit of media training.
Oh,
this
yeah.
kid.
What are you doing,
Oh,
mate?
again.
Before
Yeah,
we
when
let
you
you...
were talking about it earlier, I was like, oh no, it's all gone. I've lost it all. I've got to restart.
Just quickly, that try that went sort of viral, that clip where you kicked it back on the inside, that was a pretty sick moment. And the afters as well. Can you talk us through that?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Sometimes when you're playing rugby, you don't actually know what you're doing, and then you just find yourself in open space, and that's sort of what happened there. And then I didn't have the gas to get to the trial, and all my teammates were like, "I thought you were fast," and I was like, "I've been telling you, I'm not fast. So just look fast because I move sideways quickly."
So is that an admission that you actually had no idea what was going on and you were just kicking and hoping for the best?
Yeah, because that was
No,
that was not a chip and chase.
Yeah,
was a
no,
punch.
that was just a midfield bomb that just ended up going your way.
Nah, I saw him on the inside. I don't think he saw me though, looking at him, and I just hoofed it. I still did shank it, but it got to where I wanted it to go.
I love it. Tyler, anything else for the big fella?
No, I'll be hopefully see you this afternoon, bud.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone's welcome. Dan Bordeaux's house party. Everyone watching this, just come round.
Yeah.
I wasn't even invited, but you can come. No matter who you are.
Yeah, anyone.
There we go. It's good to have you back, mate. We've missed you over the last 6 months or so. We'll see you back on the couch very soon. And thanks for stopping by.
Yes, sir. See you, boys.
Thanks, brother.
On the note of Dan Boardman, I don't know if he's watching, but I've got to give him a shout out to all the listeners. That man played 60 minutes of rugby yesterday.
Yep.
Bit of a, I think MCL, bit of a knee injury. He went around a full marathon this morning.
Yeah.
How?
I
don't
generally, I couldn't even get out of bed this morning. It felt like my whole back had been rearranged, and that man's up here running 40-odd Ks.
I spoke to him just afterwards and asked him how he went, and he said he was fine. He's like, I was a bit sore, but not too bad.
Oh, it must be nice.
I believe it's his 100th game next week.
100th game, mate. That's a big one.
And majority of first grade. That's the crazy thing about that man. He's just an absolute weapon.
I've also got to give that man credit because he's done a lot for the club.
Yep.
Last year didn't really play first grade, but he was, he's Mr. Fix-It, or, when he was needed, he stepped up. He played third grade. There was days he played third grade, second grade, and first grade. He also played when he was doing 30 Ks a day for 30 days.
Yeah.
He's
long-time captain as well.
Yeah, long-time captain. He's given a lot to the club, and to see him get his 100th game, I think it's one of the most deserving things. And, it's probably going to be a bit emotional for him next that day, which is probably going to make it a bit emotional for me. So, Ladies' Day, brothers, obviously a big occasion, so hopefully we can get up for it and come away with a win for his 100th game.
We'll go to a break shortly, but 14-5 at half time, pretty close. What have we sort of made of it so far, quickly?
I think the score actually does reflect the game. Like the Wallabies, especially in that first 20, had a lot of ascendancy and they were pretty dominant. But I think Fiji have found a really, really good way to just kind of disrupt, and that's what they need to do. And I think if they keep disrupting what they're doing, like similar to that last try that they scored, they'll pick up some loose balls and some loose kicks and some probably bad decisions, and that's when they'll really strike. So, yeah, I think it's been a pretty good game so far. It's probably not as flowy as what we'd expect, but at the same time, this is our first test as the Wallabies in a while. So, yeah, I think it's all right.
TC, besides cashing checks, what have you made of it?
Look, I think it's been a good half for the Wallabies. I kind of think the score they won't be happy with. They've had majority of the territory, majority of the possession. I think Fiji's had one go in the 22 and they've come away with points now. So for Aussie, I think they've got to be a little bit more clinical. I think they've got to, start, I guess the Brumbies said it, stick with it, be in the washing machine and keep going and get those points because 14-5, you're probably not going to have that much ball and that much time in the Lions 22. So they're just going to be a bit more clinical in the second half, I think, and I think they'll sort of hopefully run away with it at the back end of this game.
I like it. Alrighty, we'll leave it there. Have a short break at halftime. Second half on the other side. More guests. Keep the comments going. We'll catch you soon. Alrighty, welcome back to the Midi Vintage Live Watch Along Australia versus Fiji in Newcastle. It's a tight contest so far, 14 points to 5. Jordan Hughes with you alongside Jordan Lanack and Tyler Campbell. Plenty of great guests so far, boys. It's been an exciting first half. Plenty going on. What do you made of the concept so far, Jordan Lanack?
I love it. I reckon it's great fun. I was a little bit nervous coming in today. I didn't know if I had, 2 hours worth of conversation in me, but yeah, I think it's good. I'm just getting some feedback from some of the boys online who have tuned in and chimed in, and they're really enjoying it. So,
You reckon you can't talk for 2 hours?
not about one.
Have you heard yourself on a field, mate?
Not about one single topic, no. But no, we're going all right, I reckon.
Okay, I like it. Tyler, how you doing?
No, I think it's obviously it's been a real enjoyable thing for us to sort of progress what we've been doing, and we've had some great guests, got some quality stories. This match has been pretty decent, a bit more exciting than what we watched last night, and I feel like people are really buying into it. So shout out to everyone that sort of commented or left a message, and if you haven't yet, don't be shy. We will read them, and hopefully you can give us a little bit of a giggle or something to entertain us for the rest of the second half.
So you look at this game. We'll go into the weeds a bit here quickly. I guess the Wallabies, it was a bit like unstructured at times, a bit in the weaves. A bit. What's the keys here, Tyler?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of space there, but they're trying a bit too early sometimes to get there. I think we've seen a lot of passes, and sometimes they've gone backwards. If they just hold on to it that one extra phase, I think they'll be able to expose that space. We saw Harry Potter then got to the edge, and he put the ball on his foot. I actually would have liked him sort of to step in, stay strong, get a good clean, and then they go again. I just think they're kicking too much ball away at the moment.
Now, before we get into more of the match, we've got a very special guest joining us on the line. He's been a Wallaby captain, 5 caps for Wallabies, 86 for the Queensland Reds. Liam Wright, hello, mate. How are you?
Hey, Geordie. How are you, mate?
Very well. What do you think of the game so far? What do you made of it?
That first half was a little bit... the whistle was out a bit. There was a few knock-ons, but seemed to explode at the back end. I think... Look, Fiji probably don't look at their best. A few handling errors and stuff, a bit unlike them. But Wallabies are going to be important to just try and finish them off in their system.
There's a chance here for Jorgensen.
Jorgo, here we go.
Max Jorgensen looks to be in. I'm not sure if you're ahead of us, Righty, but looks as though
Jorgo...
Oh, there you go.
Everyone's been slightly behind us.
Yeah, true. Yeah, Jorgo's in there as you see it. I hope that's allowed.
I think they may call this forward pass back. I hate to say
they
it.
look to be very forward. Righty, before we get into the deep dive, I guess how is that shoulder coming along for you?
Oh, there we go. I've just seen.
There we go.
Yeah, shoulder's going all right, fellas. It got out of the sling this week, which is cool. So just a bit more movement in it, and now just the process of strength and range and getting that all going. So still a long road ahead, but the first sort of 6 weeks, which is the tough slog, are done now.
Before the boys have a few questions for you, I guess the back row, your sort of specialty, obviously good mate of yours, Harry Wilson, the captain. They're going to Gleeson and then obviously Fraser. Well, what do you make of that trio?
Yeah, it's a good trio so far. Obviously, sort of what you might think's lacking a little bit is a bit of line-out stuff there, but geez, Wilson's nabbed a couple steals at the front there already, so it's working well. And I think Lange with those explosive carries, if you can get them going, they all bounce off each other pretty well. The Wallabies pack seems pretty keen on go forward this year especially. So with Lange's carries, with Wilson's carries, Fraser popping up around the edge, it sounds like a back row that'll bounce off each other well.
As you see, this try may be disallowed. Tyler?
Okay. Obviously, wrong as you're at the game Wednesday night and probably watched last night. Is there anything you're seeing in this game that you think will work well for the Wallabies to sort of exploit the Lions in a few weeks' time?
Yeah, look, I think there's a big intent from them at the moment to actually get behind them. I think that's probably more so based around the Fijian pack. They're a big pack, so they're going to turn them around, try and bleed some errors out of them through fatigue, which has happened so far. A lot of the forwards in the Fijian side making a few handling errors. I don't know if that'll work as well against the Lions, given that they've got such an incredible back three. But I think the most impressive thing for me about the Lions, from especially that Reds game, oh, that pass does look a bit forward, doesn't it?
Yeah, very forward.
Is that their breakdown was incredible. Like their speed of ball for Gibson Park was just so fast. So what the Wallabies are trying to do especially, and I think that's where we can really get them, is through an ascendancy in our forward pack. Obviously, if you get Robbie Valentini, Big Well Skelton back as well, you've got some really strong ball carriers to go with the guys you've got there already. So I think if we can nab through there, then we'll be able to get that ascendancy. And then defensively, we just need to be able to slow time in the tackle.
Nice. Rongers, g'day, mate. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. How's things?
Hey, Geordie. Good, mate. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's good. Just a quick one on footy. We were kind of talking about it a bit at the start. Probably if we were going to compare this starting 15 for the Wallabies versus what we might see against the Lions, what's your sort of take on that? Who do you think's coming in? Who do you think's going out? Yeah.
Yeah, mate. I think Bobby Valentini will obviously find a place back at probably at 6. I think they'll keep Wilso there, but play Bobby at 6. But then he'll probably do more of an 8 role in that he'll be out of the lineouts and doing all that sort of stuff. Wilso will cover in the middle there.
Yeah.
I think Skelton's a really interesting one because obviously when he comes in, you lose a lineout option, and already there in that back row, you don't really have a lineout specialist if you're going to have Wilso and Bobby and Fraze. So I think that probably means you're going to have to go with Frosty there. He's the main caller. I don't think Jez really calls for the force much. Swaney does a lot of that. So I expect to see probably Frosty and Skelto if he's going to start. But that being said, I think Skelton can be used pretty well off the bench just to bring a bit of punch at the end because, you know, you're going to try and bury those Lions guys and bring that intent. It's going to be attritional. So I'd say the forward pack will be pretty similar there. I'd love to see Fez get back in and around, especially if Porky's had a bit of a head knock today. I don't know how long that'll keep him out for. Backline, that's probably more your guys' area of expertise, but good to see Jorgo back. He's having a good game so far. I think it'll be probably Tatey and Jakey in the halves. Probably not sure. Going off last year, Jake started a lot, but obviously I've got a bit of a bias towards Tatey.
Yeah.
And it'll be the interesting one. I love Tommy Liner to get a chance. I think he was probably one of the form 10s in Super Rugby, but that being said, he's coming off a broken finger and a big head knock in that last game, so he won't get any game time prior to that test series. So Noah's your kind of stand-in man there and has been for the past year or so for the Wallabies. So I don't expect to see Ikitau and Sue change too much.
Yeah.
Righty will be a lock-in at the back there, I'd say. So I think Filippo would bring a bit of size to that wing there. Obviously, whether you choose Jorgo or Potts or Kel's coming back from the Tars game. So to answer your question, it could be anything, mate. I don't know if that's narrowed it down. There's a lot happening there.
If we did lose a jumping option in the line-out and sort of went with Skelts to someone to sort of bolster that sort of midfield defensively, do you think that would be so much of an issue rather than try and sort of a bit of a tactic to cover their sort of strong midfield that are going to be running down that channel?
Oh, look, it's only an issue if the line-out goes to the dust, you know.
Yeah.
If you can get away with 2 jumpers there and you know, Frosty's a pretty good caller. He's a good option himself. So then you can use Wilso as that second option. It's not detrimental, but it's one of those things where if you lose your line out, if you lose your set piece, it's really hard to come back from, and it's hard to get that back line any ascendancy. That being said, you can then, if you're happy to just take that front ball, take sort of uncontested options and take just safer ones, but maybe don't necessarily get you the bounce off the set piece that you're looking for, then you're able to manage that as long as you get the return around the field from the big fellas like Skelto. Then they'll need to really bash those bodies and slow them up in defence.
Do you think, like obviously talking about lineouts, that Pete Samu could be an option then? Because I know he's been used sort of as a lineout option in the past. If he's coming back in from France, obviously we see him playing in this Aussie NZ game and signed to the Tars next year. Do you think he's in the equation to be in the Test series sort of squad?
Yeah, I forgot about Pistol, actually. He'd be a good option. He's a great line-out forward. And he's been that sort of second, third option line-out for quite a while. As well, he can cover 6, 7 and 8 probably more naturally than anyone else can. We saw Lungy a little bit at the back of last year covering the bench role, but Pistol probably is a more natural 7 for if something were to happen to Fraser or Tiz. So, yeah, he could easily do it. And especially he's coming off some real good footy with Bordeaux. So, yeah, he's a great option too.
Just to change of pace here, Righty. The Reds this year, obviously you're in and out with your own injuries. A season that was, progressed pretty well, but just fell short in the end. I guess what's been the summary when you look back at it now?
The summary is, look, we had a good season for sure. There's some really good things happening, but it really felt at the start of the year and throughout, especially in that quarterfinal, the way we went out, that we should have gone further, should have gone deeper, and should have gone out in a better way at least. Like, I feel that probably the growth for us is being able to adapt a little bit better and a bit smarter. You kind of saw in the quarterfinal and some of the games in the middle of the year, sort of Brumbies game, the ones where we really weren't able to fire many shots when our breakdown got a little bit hampered, and some of the teams were great at that. The Crusaders especially saw the breakdown work they had. The Brums did a real good job against us. We didn't manage to then get the type of attacking quick ball we're known for and that we liked, which made it hard to sort of march down the field. Then we probably overplayed a little bit in our own zone, and you could see that's when we sort of came unstrung a little bit. So I think if we can march ourselves up the right end of the field and then really sort a breakdown when people go hard at it, then we can go a bit further in 2026.
Just on that, were you ever around for those South African tours? Was that still early days for you?
Yeah, I did a couple of those ones.
Yeah, but what were some of the stories on that? I feel like a lot of the players miss that. Every time I talk to the players, they go, they were the times over in Cape Town and Joburg. Good memories from those days?
Great memories, especially for me. All my family's back in South Africa, so
that's right,
use that as a free holiday to go and see them and actually catch up with family. But yeah, the boys love those tours, especially when you got probably more of a younger group, which we still sort of have age-wise. We've got a bit more experience there, but when you don't have you're not leaving kids the whole time and the group really gets around each other and is able to get close, you manage to find out what sort of team you want to be, what sort of style you want to play. And it's pretty attritional as well. So you use a lot of people, you get more people on the tour and test that depth. So it's just a different style of play as well. The South Africans bring a very maul-oriented, forward-based game, which I think teams miss, having to change from that style to the speed and flair of the Aussie and New Zealand teams on a weekly basis.
As you see this now too, Rongers, it's about this twice now. Rolling Maul is not really getting it on point.
Hey, he's slightly behind. Stop spoiling it for him.
Yeah, spoilers, mate. Billy's just about to throw it in. They've gone to Wills.
Here you go. Break this down for us, mate.
Distraction.
Okay. Little,
Lift
I'll have to see the back view of that, but what they did on that first try where Porky scored is that they're trying to hit and then they'll get slips or Allen to try and bump that edge. So they try and then obviously get around the outside of the Fijian glove defence. What I'd suggest happened there, I'm just getting the replay now, is that, Jez at the back lifter. So what they're trying to do is get that back lifter moving around so that person hitting next to Fraser on the ball can spin around and get outside the Fijian defence. But if that back lifter completely blocks access to the jumper, you're going to get penalised like that every day.
We're going to get a live reaction.
Yeah, we're going to get a reaction. Something's just happened wrong, so you just stay tuned, mate.
Yeah, it's going to...
Oh, no.
It's going to break down.
He's watching it happen now.
Can you call us in for us, mate? What's going on here?
That's far out. What a finish. He's been good, that 11, hasn't he?
He's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, my. Wow.
That's
not a good result, but
It started from one of
Unbelievable try.
Look at the missed tackles here.
Yeah, 1,
Oh,
2,
jeez.
far out. He stepped our whole back line.
3.
Oh. And look at the ball to finish over the top.
That's a big man to stop.
That's
unreal.
That's what they do,
That's
the
all
Fijians.
First phase, second phase?
Yeah, they're muck up as well. They dropped that.
Wow.
Oh, boys, and here we go
What's he
again.
gone through?
Oh, no.
Some months a chance to level. Or take the lead as well. And
Oh.
he
He
brings
he's
it
got
around. And Fiji leading now. Oh, boy. Here we go again. 15-14, 55 gone. Righty, before we let you go, mate, obviously while you're injured, I've been doing a bit of commentary. I had the privilege next to you yesterday. How are you enjoying that side of it, on the other side of the fence?
Yeah, it was fun, Geordie. I like it. It's a lot harder than it looks, eh? It's tough to be able to just name it on the spot and everything. You're under a bit of pressure there, but I like it. It's good. You can just chat footy, and I feel like I can add a bit of a insight, especially around the forward stuff, around the maul, the scrum, the breakdown. So enjoying it a lot, learning a bit as well. It's you and Frizz, the naturals, the way you're able to just get out what's happening to everyone. But it's a good way to spend your Saturday afternoon talking about footy.
Mate, me and Frizz were saying, like, we got no idea about lineouts and maul, and you come in and break it down for us. It was unreal yesterday. It was great.
Yeah, that was good. We had a good game yesterday. I've been lucky. All the ones I've commentated have actually ended up being cracking games, so makes it a bit easier.
Mate, your Tigers, though, went down to the Red Heavies. What's doing?
Yeah, I know. I haven't gone back and watched it yet. I don't know if I will with a result like that, but it's a tough one. Compared to the last few years, we were really chasing the back end of the season, trying to get back up into that 4. It's obviously a great place to be, but I think if we let slip of the top 2, that could be crucial for us.
I guess just for any chance we see you in a bit of club footy or at least in the Super Rugby AU at the back end of the year?
No, lads, unfortunately that'll be a bit too early. The game I'm trying to aim for is the Reds game versus Panasonic in October. That'd be sort of just over that 5-month mark, which would be pretty much perfect for the shoulder. So that'd be sweet. Try and clear me up for either available for that end of season tour or just healthy going into a strong preseason. So I won't make that Super A and I won't get any club footy, which is a shame. I've had shoulder issues the last 3 years, so I haven't put on the Tigers jersey for a while. But trying to get back for one game before the end of the season and just make myself healthy and available.
There we go. Liam Wright, thank you so much for stopping by and enjoy the rest of the game. We'll catch up soon.
Thanks, lads. Go the Wallabies.
There we go.
Like it.
Liam Wright, Wallaby captain as well. 5 caps, almost a centurion for the Reds.
Yeah.
Great to get his insight on that line out as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like obviously someone that's had a bad luck of injury the last few years. He finally sort of someone that was hanging around that sort of Wallabies fringe and got his crack, got given the captaincy, and then from there his shoulders sort of have given way. So I'm hoping he can get healthy and stay on the field because he's someone that brings another threat over the ball. He's also a line-out option, and you see his detail around that line-out, and something I think the Wallabies could use moving forward over the next couple of years going into the next World Cup.
We'll discuss this game a bit now. It's getting a bit hairy.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
That Fijian try was just electric, and it's just becoming a bit flustered for the Wallabies. They look a bit scattered. Ty's a leader. I guess, what do you sort of do here?
I think they just got to go back to basics. I think they are creating the space, and a lot of things are going their way, but I think they're pushing it that little bit too much. I talked about it before. If you get to an edge, you don't have to chip kick it every time.
Yep.
Just carry tough, get back into your set, go forward, early clean, dominant carry, and just back what you've got. Go 30 phases. Fiji want to play unstructured footy, so where you can, you try and, play as structured as possible and let them make the penalties because they will get bored and they will give away penalties here and there.
I got a question coming in. I'd like you read this one out, Tyler, and read it how it should be read here.
Good after morning, gentle person. Thoughts on bringing back the Aussie NPC they had years ago? Good thing or no?
Thoughts?
No.
Look, I do think it was a good comp.
Yep.
The issue with it is, and people like to compare it to the Curry Cup and the NPC back in NZ, like, they've got good domestic comps. The difference is, though, this is not good for the Wallabies.
No. Oh, God.
The difference is that those comps have been around now for 50, 60 years.
Just go.
Hang on.
He's gonna finish
Jesus
it.
Christ.
Oh, my God.
Fijian again.
Sorry, guys, interrupt. But difference is, those comps have been around and the foundations are set and the fan bases are set. And it's allowed that comp to grow over the years because it started as non-professional and now it's become professional. You're asking Aussie to make up a professional comp with no backing, no sort of support network, and I guess put some money into something that probably isn't going to grow over the next couple of years. It's going to need a long time, and I don't think there's a financial situation for that to work at the moment. I think their best bet is if they want to bring back a NRC, NPC type comp, I think invest in the club comp, Maybe go the top 4 from the Queensland comp, the top 4 from the Sydney comp, and then the top 2 from Canberra, whatever it is, and maybe 1 from the other states, and put a little comp together at the end of the year and have like an Aussie championship. It could just be a knockout tournament.
Yeah.
But at least there's following behind that. There's a lot of fans. Look at West and stuff like that. They've got big fan bases already. Brothers, UQ. So, it could just be a way of sort of building it out. Yeah,
for sure. As look at this a bit. Boys, this is going real south. It's getting checked here for potential into touch. What do you reckon here?
Oh, he's actually lucky he's gone into touch there.
I don't think he has.
He has?
Yeah. Watch this back heel now.
Yeah. Thank God.
Wow,
they've been blessed that he ran out.
Gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Harry Potter going to touch. If you're just seeing this right now, I think we're a bit ahead of you.
Oh, they're
Mate,
blessed.
what is doing here? I'm getting 2023 nightmares again.
problem is Aussie's up right now.
And someone's getting a neck collar put on.
Oh, no. Wallaby or Fijian?
Hard to tell.
I don't know.
Oh, no. Is it Noah?
Yeah, it's Noah.
Oh, no. Oh, he's hit his...
Well, that's him out of the Lions tour because that's way too many concussions.
He's knocked himself out there, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's out. Yeah, he's gone. No. Anyway.
Wow. Because when we saw against the Western Force, that ugly knock he had as well.
Yeah.
I believe if it is a head knock, he's had 4 in 18 months already.
Yeah, we spoke about this.
No, I don't think his head really hits the ground there.
Yeah, but that.
The whiplash might have knocked him out.
Component.
Oh, God.
I hope he's all right.
He just falls a bit awkwardly on his back. I think it's the whiplash has got him there.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad when things like this happen. Look how much quieter we've got.
I know.
We're all stressing
Especially
for
when
him
it's
now.
Noah. You guys know him personally as well.
Yeah.
I know Noah. Can't stand his brother.
Ethan. I played for Ethan.
No, one of his grooms went at his wedding next year. I actually just we're just sorting out his Bucks party now at the moment.
Okay.
Actually,
You're a good man for that.
Yeah, we'll work that out.
All right, so it's 15-14 remains to score. We've got 20 to play. Jesus.
There just needs to be a massive momentum swing. Here we go. The gore's on.
Oh, we guess.
We've got the non-gore.
Yeah, well, Carlo Cesano and Nick White just came on before as well. So maybe they're starting to sort of figure out that they need a bit of something.
Can we get rid of that Ollie fella off the bench, though?
Oh, yeah.
Ollie Knorton's just sitting on the bench.
Sitting on the bench.
Yeah, he's too busy to phone us. Come on, mate. What's he doing? Give us a call.
He's out there pretending like he's doing something.
Look, this could be good for Aussie, I think. I'm only saying that, not the injury, obviously, but the little stoppage in the game because I feel like they've lost a bit of momentum and Fiji has got their tails up at the moment. And when the Fijian team's rolling like this, we've seen it with the Drua, we've seen it with the national side before. They're really hard to stop. So hopefully this just puts a little reset on it and Aussie can get back into their structure and go again.
Yeah, Jordy, because it has been getting a bit messy around the base of the ruck. Do you reckon, like we've seen this so many times with Wallabies where things start to unravel and then they really fall in a hole.
Yeah.
As we see a fellow Bull Shark and Queensland Red, good friend of you guys, Zane Nongor, making his way to the field as well. How do you control the tempo here, Jordan?
Yeah, I think as Holly just said, this break of play is probably actually going to be a bit of a blessing for Australia. Get a bit of a reset going on. For the next sort of couple minutes, I'd like to just see us just go back to our simple options, just get some ascendancy, worry about our breakdown, because we just saw before, like that last turnover just came from a sloppy ball presentation. So, yeah, I think they just need to just get their nitty-gritty sorted, have a bit of a reset, understand that they're under the pump. In saying that, I don't actually think they are that much under the pump. I don't think the scoreboard's reflecting the game that well. Like that most recent try came off just from a single mistake, which we said just before halftime was probably going to be the case anyway. But yeah, they just need to tighten their stuff up a little bit. I understand, as Sarge said before, they're probably trying some stuff looking forward. But yeah, I think if we just sort of tighten it up and go back to what we know we're good at, play a bit safe, trying to get some of this Fijian flair out of the game, we'll be all right.
Like, look at this now. This is just outrageous.
That's great feat.
Yeah.
I got to say, Geordie, Jordan Lanack, you got to agree with me. It's quite nice not sitting on a musty couch for once.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, this studio's
It's nice, isn't
It's
it?
quite
Yeah,
nice to not be on the old musty couch,
Mate,
as the TikTokers
The white
would
couch
say.
got us through 150 podcast episodes, all right? It's going okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, it always cops it. Here we go. Thumbs up from Noah.
Yeah.
We wish him all the best and someone.
Hoping it's not head and it's just a scare of the neck from the whiplash. And we obviously know he had that force one where he got crunched and his spine got put in a weird position as well. So hopefully he's good. But who's on now? Ben Donaldson.
Yeah, Dono.
Yeah. Dono. So we'll see if he can sort of change his game around. It's a big change losing your 10 at this point of the match.
Yeah, Donaldson obviously played that force game against the Lions a week ago, really. Straight back into it.
Yeah, how's that as well? Like a few of the boys are, even the club boys playing this week in the QPR. Obviously, a game against the Lions on Wednesday, which is a big physical game. 4 days later, turn it around, play another game of footy. Like, how do you think they?
Well, Wershon did it yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
Louis did it.
Exactly. How do you think his body's feeling?
Yeah, tough. We came on and kicked the winning penalty goal yesterday to knock over Brothers.
I got to take my hat off Hugh Jones.
Oh, yeah.
He played like a full 80 on Wednesday. And what did he play yesterday?
Did he start?
He started. He scored 2 tries he would have played another 60.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good call, actually. And he also has Potter now in the air.
Good boy.
New Waratah. Did we discuss this?
Yeah.
Me and you did, yeah.
Yeah, crazy. Should have been. It probably pushes out Derby Lancaster too. Who's probably without a club now. Here he is.
Oh, the gore.
What do you reckon? Direct swap?
Well, yeah. You think so, but you could tell.
Well,
It's this stuff.
Oh
They're
my
just
God.
really struggling with the physicality of Fiji at the moment.
Yeah. And I think the Fiji's credit as well. Like they haven't had a slump in what they've been doing for 60 minutes now. Like I think historically you probably bank on the fact they're going to come out for at least the first 25 of each half to sort of just give it to you. But they stayed on that whole first half and they've come out probably even more barred up. So yeah, they're not making it easy.
Riasi, he's been good too.
Oh, that's cheeky. Yeah, good refereeing.
That's out of your toolbox, mate.
Yeah,
It
you're
is.
the idiot that does that.
Yeah,
You one of those guys?
Yes, he is.
100%. Mate, I'll take the low-hanging fruit. I don't mind.
Oh, Nick,
Oh, it's just sloppy.
I've got
isn't it?
another injury as well.
how have we not taken him out there? Good boy, Jorgensen.
Yeah, good.
I have no idea what the ref just tried to say there.
Frenchman?
Yeah.
Knock on from Jorgensen by the looks of it. Oh,
All right,
boy.
18 minutes to go.
Mm.
This is a crucial moment for the Wallabies. I do need them to score 2 tries in this 18 minutes, one being Harry Potter, and we're looking good. But
Yeah, I
That'd be nice.
think my multi's pretty much done.
We said it could be close, that they could turn up and do. You said they'd be tight. Australia 1-12 was what you said.
Yeah, actually, if Jorgo scores the next try and that's it, I'm good.
Okay. If we look at bigger picture here, away from just your bank balance, if we can.
Yes.
Are you sure? Yeah?
Yeah,
there's
that's fine,
no bigger picture, mate.
Okay, yeah. Let's say they lose this.
Yeah.
Obviously, the world's going to erupt.
Yeah.
How do you spin that? Does that change your perception against the Lions? No.
Well,
Yeah.
thing is, one, this is their first game together for the year.
Yeah.
Obviously missing a lot of quality footballers, and it's like erupting after the Lions lost to Argentina.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the exact same scenario for me. And Fiji is one of those teams that seem to have gotten the better of Aussie lately. They've just sort of, I don't know, this sort of physicality and style of football kind of rattles the Wallabies' attack and the way they like to play. So, I don't think this game's done yet. I still think Wallabies can come away and win this, but I think this next 3-minute period on defence is going to be crucial for them.
Yeah.
Another question coming in here. Tyler, both Geordies, if you had to choose out of Tyler and the Riff to down a 50 bucket of KFC chicken, who does it? Who's the Riff?
Oh, Sheriff, I'm not
I
even
don't
in
know.
the equation.
I reckon you. Sheriff's enthusiasm would get him over the first sort of 15, but I reckon you've got the endurance and the stamina to knock off the full 50.
So a bit of context, Reece Sheriff Bond prop.
Yes.
Against this man TC and a bit of KFC.
Yeah. Our other
I don't
Bond,
even
our
like
other Bond
KFC.
prop.
No. Sheriff's a bit of a quitter.
Yeah.
I do agree with that. He doesn't have the mental toughness to do it, and I hope he's
Yeah.
listening and hears that from me.
Yeah. But no, I reckon TC's got the the legs in him to knock off the full.
50 is a lot of chicken, man.
50's a lot of chicken,
It's
dude.
too much.
It's a lot of protein.
So Fiji again now hot on the attack.
Oh, this is
To the side of the
nerve-wracking.
fight. This is concerning here in
50
Newcastle.
pieces of chicken, that's 12 and a half birds.
I'm back in the Sheriff.
That's 12 and a half whole birds you've got to eat.
Yeah.
I'm reckon if you give him a bucket of gravy on the side, Sheriff's doing it.
Yeah. I back the prop,
It's
surely.
6 dinner rolls.
Every day of the week.
Dinner rolls. Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Nogsy, get him.
Riasi is being an absolute presence. Their forward pack's been good, though, the Fijians.
They're just big, physical, get you over the game like this guy's going to score here. He's a freak.
Oh, my God.
What is going on? This 11's having the game of his life.
Revovo, maybe?
Have you had any insights into the Wallabies camp at the moment? Obviously through Tonga or any other boys. What's the feel? How's everyone going?
I haven't had... I haven't had too many insights. Oh, that's
lucky.
Wow.
Gone forward
good defensive set, though.
Yeah.
Great defensive
Yeah,
set.
that's all we need.
No, I haven't actually spoke to Nongsy too much, or Noah for that matter, but yeah, it kind of seems like they've been trucking along pretty nicely. I think they're trying to keep a lot sort of under wraps at the moment.
Yeah.
It's obviously a big event. You only get to play the Lions once every 12 years, and I feel like it would be very intense at training, be a lot of intensity, and A lot of guys fighting because you'd hate to be in that squad and miss out and not
Yeah.
not playing in one of the test matches.
Yeah, because the Lions now will play the Brumbies on Wednesday night.
Yep.
And then just on that, you see the Aussie-New Zealand team, it's really taken shape, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Good names. Kev Hoskins now named.
Yeah. Who else
AJ
was it?
Lamb.
Yep.
Yeah, every
Cora
name they
Betty.
drop seems to be a very solid pick.
I kind of feel there's a lot of similar positions.
Yes, yeah, I was
Yeah.
just about to say the same thing.
How's it going to structure out?
Donguna's come on for Lenny. I wonder who's playing 12 here. Suoli'i into 12.
Dargoon at 13. Yeah. Well, I don't know who else you'd do.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Nick White as well on the field. Carlo Tizzano.
I think that's a great move from Smith.
Which one?
Fight Fijians with Fijians.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Great change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great scenes here at Newcastle too. Looks to be
What's the setup?
close to a full house.
Oh, is that Filippo at 12?
Maybe just for the
Defensively.
carry.
Oh, no, yeah.
Defense, yeah.
You're on the ball.
Yeah, Nick White.
That is a great
Yeah, good
shoe.
option.
That is a great shoe. Why can't you do that, Geordie?
Because we have the magician at the back of the scrum who gets me flick passes and through the legs, and
True. The artist.
the artist.
Who are you referring to?
T-Row.
The great man.
To be fair, I went to kick the ball yesterday and missed it.
Yeah, that was good. I thought
Really?
I thought you had your kicking card revoked, and now all of a sudden you
I
brought it back.
did, but I feel like I deserved one after my second pilfer.
And then you've now been taken away again.
Well, in all fairness, Ush ended up
Did you actually
kicking
even?
it.
Did you even make contact? Did you get boot
No,
to
because I
ball?
got pushed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Just on that too.
Oh, Harry Wilson just got
Wow.
his ankles broken.
Here they come again.
Oh, that's great
grab.
hands.
Oh, pop, pop, pop.
Tizzano's.
Why can't he touch that?
Not through the gate.
No, but Ush kicked it and he almost regathered
Yeah, dude, that was a big play from Harrison Usher.
because
Dargoon having
he's
a
on
crack on the
hard.
ball, isn't he?
I like the
the
headgear.
headgear.
Yeah, I like it.
Need a steal here.
We have a headgear operator? Either of you two?
Oh, I tried it and I always played shit when I had it on, so I took it off.
It was the headgear's fault.
Oh, that's what I said to
Oh,
myself.
he didn't roll. That is who is that? He didn't even. You got to make a bit of effort than that.
Pollard.
Yeah.
Pollard just gave up halfway through his rollout.
Points here? What are you doing here, boys?
Yeah.
Yep, means they have to score to win.
This is it's getting a bit dicey.
550 they were paying. The Fijians.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
They really fronted up.
So you watch it here. Pollard just...
Yeah, it's lazy.
He's just laying all over it.
Yeah, it's lazy.
You've got to move, boys. Tyler, 2 tries yesterday from you. And you absolutely sent one South's 10 into a coffin, mate. Straight over the top of him. Was he... You tell me that story, actually. You told me...
Oh, no, it was a bit of a fiery game yesterday, I will say. I think we've sort of come with the thought, identities. We are a bunch of, for a uni side, we're probably a blue-collar side and a bunch of scrappers. And we've sort of embraced that identity going into the game and sort of having that no surrender, no step back kind of thing. So game got a bit fiery at times and, there was a lot of shit chat being thrown around.
I can imagine.
A lot of it. And, yeah, it's sort of, he said something to me briefly before it and sort of got that ball at full steam and probably had 20 kilos on the poor kid and got the better of him there and let him know about it. But I've got to give him his dues. He got back up and played on and put Souths in the right positions in the back end of that game to sort of mount the bit of a comeback. But, I've got to credit to our boys too. We sort of stuck with it, fought through a lot of sort of adversity early on. We had a lot of ball and couldn't find the try line. But as the game sort of went on, we ended up finding our rhythm and just stuck, as I said, stuck with it and got the job done in the end.
That's a big win too.
Huge win.
Much
And the scheme of our season, if we lost that, it probably almost looks impossible to make finals. So now we're in the hunt. We've got a game in hand, and it's just on us now to win against the teams that are below us. But, they don't come easy because anyone can beat anyone in this comp at the moment.
Oh, shot.
You got rocked.
Here we go. Come on, Aussie.
18-14, 12 to play.
I need 2 tries from them.
I just want a Wallabies dub, to be honest. Gap Boy, you back next week? We don't know.
I don't know yet.
Yeah.
We'll see. I've got to give...
Longest gout ever.
I've got to, from the doctors, I've got to give this 48 hours to see if this settles down. So that'll be, tomorrow afternoon will be 48, and then it just depends on how that's going. But, I'd love to be back out there, obviously. Probably more so the fact now that it's Bordeaux's 100th. I'd really like to be a part of that moment for him. He's a great bloke.
He doesn't like you.
He loves me. good friend, unreal footy player, and I think
Sure.
to share that moment with him would be pretty special. But yeah, again, we'll see. Take it one day at a time at this stage. We're kind of in a bit of a fortuitous situation where Liam Daniela, the other halfback of Bond at the moment, is
Sammy Dalton as well.
and
Got some
Daltz,
depth, yeah.
Daltz as well. Like we have some really good crop coming up underneath. So obviously, I want to be out there for the best I can, but I know at the same time, if I'm not going to operate at my 100%, I'm probably more of a detriment than I am a positive to the team. And there's plenty of other boys in there that I know are coming in and doing a job. So yeah,
I like it. And season changes coming for Fiji now. This is real tense.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm trying to keep the people entertained, but I'm very much engaged in this game.
I kind of keep forgetting that people
live?
aren't seeing. No, people aren't watching this.
Well, no, they are.
No, but with our broadcast.
Yeah. Well, they're close. There's a few seconds.
Hold the
behind.
ball.
And we've also
Hold the ball.
We've got the
Have a
media,
go,
the
Tommy.
media expedited version. We're a few seconds ahead.
Oh my God, that was so
What are you doing?
Oh no!
chew the space up.
Oh, thank
they've
goodness.
been blessed. But that was almost like I'm going to jog up and then stitch someone else up.
Yeah.
Poor Jorgo would have got flogged if he caught that. The
There's
old cramp.
There's a lot of Fijians going down with cramp in the last couple of minutes. I've noticed.
Big left booter.
Yeah, he does have a big left boot. Oh, you can see it.
Well, that hurt him.
Look at him. Bang. Rock solid.
Oh,
Dude,
jeez.
stanky leg.
Rayasi is tough. 18-14.
Right, if you want to win this game right now,
Yeah, what are you doing?
you hit Nongo at the front. He bumps off the 18
Yeah.
and he runs the field.
Goes the 45. and
Has
knocks it off.
Nongor scored a Wallabies try? No.
Hey, he scored 2 Reds tries.
Yeah, right.
And he's had 50 caps. He's not a try scorer. He's a scrummager and a workhorse. Probably the most ruck arrivals in international rugby. Most secured breakdown.
Just
Hey.
use Tyler's gout pills.
Uncle Shark, don't make me expose you here, mate.
Yeah, look, I actually
he
tried.
actually got gout.
He did.
Uncle Shark did.
Yeah, Uncle Shark. Uncle Shark is a good man.
Thick Shana, friend of the pod.
Yeah,
Up
Thick
the
Shad.
lads,
Thanks,
Thick.
mate.
Geordie's boy Thick.
He'll be down at
Big
Ladies'
fella.
Day
Yeah,
next
we'll
week.
See
Yeah,
you
we'll be
next
here
week,
Saturday
buddy.
night.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's messaging me. He's excited about
Oh, Fiji just stole the lineup.
it. Man, we just...
They're just them. Their momentum gets
Yeah,
and
we
they
just
go.
nothing's sticking at the moment. Oh, who's that? Have a go, son. Oh, there was a punch there.
From who?
Number 18, Fiji, whoever that is.
Justin Bernstein says, can the outside backs stop kicking?
Oh, I 100%
Yeah,
agree.
JB, well done. That's
We've been saying it all game. Just if you get on the edge, carry tough, keep the ball in hand when their defense is under pressure.
yeah. It's just like we're trying to almost just score off any opportunity.
So frustrating.
And I think, especially with a team like Fiji, who are such a momentum team, it works the other way around as well. If you put them under pressure for a few phases, someone will do something silly or someone will clock off, and then we can go again. But yeah, I don't know why we keep kicking up that edge.
Yeah, jeez. Two are missing. Missing Valentini. He's got
Yeah,
4.
his gain line's obviously being
Yeah.
missed. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, that's not
jeez.
straight.
Who threw that?
It was a Fiji.
Surely that's not straight.
Yeah, what are we doing here?
Ref, yeah, no one contested because no one could get up. Oh, yes, Nongo,
Oh, good shot.
grab his dick.
Good shot from Nongor.
You see that?
Yeah, stay low.
So 8 to play to a solver.
Yeah, I don't know how this is going to go, eh?
I'm pretty sure Fraser just got half. Oh, no, he's just tied. Look at that, Zane Nongo sitting at 20.
Oh, getting in trouble. So, George, what's next, mate? Media Vintage, what's next?
For us.
Selfless plug.
Well, hopefully, boys, on the back of this raging success, we've got big things to come. British and Irish Lions, mate, first test.
Yeah.
We've got some big things in the work. Hopefully, if you guys enjoy the concept, if the people have enjoyed the concept, we can take things to a new level and hopefully advance this. If you haven't tuned in, listen to the podcast each week, the boys.
Yeah.
It's quite good.
Or at least get around the TikTok clips.
Yeah, the TikTok clips go.
Or the Insta clips, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're growing in the right direction, mate. And it's been good to have you a part of it, Geordie Lynn. Have you enjoyed it?
Mate, I've really enjoyed it. I think Rong has made a good point before. He was obviously talking about commentary, but I think in terms of
It's all applicable.
the potty and being able to do this sort of stuff, I didn't realise how difficult it would kind of be.
Yeah.
one, just to make sense of what's going on upstairs, but also be present at the same time.
You mean in your brain when you say upstairs?
Yeah. Be present in what's going on. Honestly, probably watching my language is probably the biggest thing as well.
Yep.
I try and keep it pretty under wraps, but sometimes it just slips. Holy. But yeah, definitely. I mean, since doing this, it's definitely I do have an appreciation for the vast majority of commentators and people who are doing this for sort of the big networks, which hopefully Jordo will be you soon. But yeah, I'm loving it. I reckon it's great. And it's good fun just to hang out with you two once a week.
Talk a bit of code.
Yeah.
Some stats, boys, are pretty telling too. 30 missed tackles from Australia so far, which is
Yes.
Fraser over the top. Good steal.
No, it was a
flying over
the top clean out.
Carry meters for Fiji, 931 carry meters, 688 for Australia.
Yeah.
You see the difference there. Defenders beaten, 32 from Fiji.
What did we say at 10 minutes when we did this again? We had 9 and they had 0. Was that right?
Yeah. So that 20 minutes after half time
Yeah.
has been crucial. Fiji 8 turnovers to Australia's 3.
Yep.
One.
Which
turnovers
is
1.
3.
Yes.
As in turnovers.
Oh,
one.
yeah, 1.
Not
Sorry,
turnable,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, wow, they've really turned it around.
Tuasova looks in all sorts in the backfield here. That big calf cramp. Mate, you're going to need some more hands like that to let go of a
You got to play on.
You
got to play on here when your 12's out, and the prop
that
took a
follow is
knee.
coming down as well.
Because the problem we've got here is Fiji are really struggling with the pace of the game at the moment.
Yeah.
They're very much tired. Aussie looks a little bit fresher, but they keep having these little breaks that have kind of keeping Fiji on their feet, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So if I'm the Aussie captain, you're probably going up and having a chat to the ref saying, hey, they can't go down every time there's a break in play. Especially when it's always when Aussie has the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got just over 4 minutes left to play, and we really need to we need at least 5 points to get the
Great
win,
maul.
but we need to just keep this
Stay in
pace. Keep this pace as
Mm.
fast as we can and just run them into the ground.
We need a magical moment. That's what we need. Nick Frost, 14
As a
tackles
12,
as well.
I
Yeah,
hate
that's
this.
massive.
You hate this?
When the maul gets pushed all the way into the 5.
Yeah.
Because no one's then in the maul and you're just running into a brick wall.
Yeah, facts. Look at the wall just lining up there
Yeah.
for the Fijians.
They're offside.
Filippo.
Yeah, I can say they thought they were offside.
There
Don't
you go.
kick it. Just have a go. Have a go.
Whoa.
There's not much doing there for him.
Oh,
That's tough. All right. Well, that's fine.
Here we go, plug a corner.
Yeah, we just need it and just get up.
From the just on that Tom Wright forward pass. Forward? That was my forward.
That wasn't even
They're looking though,
questionable.
it looked like out of the back of his hand.
I reckon if he didn't get hit, like if he'd thrown that pass and kept running forward, we might have got away with it.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that he got hit and he stopped, it definitely accentuated the fact that it was probably a wee bit forward.
Yeah.
Look, if it was slightly forward, I would agree, but that was like 2 meters forward.
Yeah, it was.
That was like if it was he got hit and was going like it went half a meter forward,
Yeah.
but that thing went.
Yeah. Well, I also don't know why he double pumped it.
Yeah, he just had to.
Yeah.
Get
He
it
had
first
the
time.
Had to go in the first time.
He had him
didn't it?
turned in before he threw even that first pump. He should have just stuck to it.
All right, boys, here we go. About 10 away.
And they're staying it. They
Looking
got
for the winner.
they're sharing off the wrong way. Nah,
Yeah.
they're not going anywhere.
No, they've locked
That's
it.
once. Whitey's coming in. He wants it.
Just don't let it peel to the right.
Just hold it, carry hard.
Whoa.
Great grass cut.
Got to roll, sir. All right, if we just stay fast.
Tupper on the field now.
That's a good carry.
Need some help
Oh,
there,
he's
though.
lost it. Oh, we've got it.
They'll go again. Yeah.
No. Oh, Filippo's gone.
Filippo.
Holy.
You know what? Why is that not play on? That was miles behind the mark.
Yeah, what is the chap? Like, why?
You've got to be directly behind the mark. You can go back as far as you want, but you have to be directly behind the mark.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm starting to yawn.
So here we go, Donaldson for the corner. This is it, boys.
I expected a bit more points, hey?
Yeah, this reminds me of that World Cup game. Just like a grind, low scoring.
Well, Fiji just are looking like bigger bodies that are just throwing their bodies into the breakdown and disrupted it for the last sort of, I guess, 37 minutes of the second half.
Yep.
Wallabies, obviously, 2 disallowed tries. Pretty harsh. Fiji's had the one that went back for a
Don't
pass.
shear the front.
I would not have.
Here we go.
I would not
this
have
is
put
gonna
my
end up
back
messy.
in
Sort of
that.
splitting here. They got it
Oh,
out.
we've got it. It's all right.
Is it coming out? There it is.
Yeah.
Whitey's got it.
Don't go.
No, they're all
Sully.
in. They have to. They put all their backs into it.
Get up, boys. Looking for the match winner
This
here.
is going to be tough.
Oh, boy.
You know what's going to cost
We're
me?
making...
Frost now.
Is it the Hooter? Or was that a train outside?
I
don't know.
I think it was the train.
Well.
Looking to steal it. Pollard.
Oh,
This Captain Wilson goes in reverse. Wilson.
You better have got
He's
that
down, surely.
I don't know. Eh?
Oh, thank God.
He awarded it?
Yeah.
Yeah, try time. Harry
Because-
Wilson.
If you go in back,
Oh, boy.
back first, like you're a high chance of being held up every time.
Wow. That's massive.
Harry Wilson right next to the sticks.
All right, kick this, Harry Potter, run away from the kickoff, and I get paid $500. That's all that matters right now.
Oh, wow.
Mate, look at the amount of strapping he's got on that forearm.
Yeah, he's broke it twice this year,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, so what's your thoughts around this? And Geordie, like, so you watch Wilson here in back play.
Oh, right,
Reverse or like?
yeah.
No. I think maybe he was trying to spin around him,
Yeah, okay.
but you're really
I don't
vulnerable
know,
to
eh?
being
This
held
is,
up.
I reckon,
Yeah.
let's have a...
Oh, we're still waiting sign off.
Well, he's not down.
no.
He's not down. He's not down. Mate, I reckon...
Yeah.
He's down
Oh, there, yeah.
Try's good.
Wow. Well, he's kicked it. Oh, he tried to do a cheeky
Are
one.
they
went
saying
quick.
it's too long?
Hey?
Oh, no.
No. I think...
The same try awarded.
I think Ben Ronson kicked it before the referee had green lighted it.
It's been
Yeah,
checked,
yeah,
grounded,
check,
try
yeah.
time, the skipper.
Well,
Wallabies in
they've
front.
grinded this one. Now they need to just catch the kickoff.
And that conversion was good as well. So 21, 19, 18.
18.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, wow, that's...
That's tense, isn't it?
Yeah. So, and a kick short.
Smart. Real smart. People will think, why did he catch that?
Yeah, explain that to the people. Why?
One, you don't rely on the bounce of the ball.
Mm.
Like, that's a big thing. Ball could bounce, and it bounces over the 10 into a Fijian's hand.
True.
Second thing is, you kind of don't want to go to a set piece here. You go to the scrum at halfway, you're susceptible to giving away a scrum penalty. Here, at least you've got a bit more control. You're near the sideline. That way, if there is a turnover or anything, they've got to go, they're
Like
stuck
they've
on an
got
edge.
one way, yeah.
It's also easy to kick out here, too. Look, they got to do probably 2 more of these, maybe 1 more of these.
Yeah.
Hooper, settler.
Happily just soak up some meters,
And
secure that breakdown.
See Nick White just demanding his charges.
who hasn't gone?
He's just
There it
watching.
is there. Back into the pocket, and Donaldson will finish it off.
Wow.
And the Wallabies escape. They win the opening test match of 2025 over Fiji, 21-18. Thanks to a Harry Wilson try to win the game. Boys, they got there.
That's a bit scary.
Very scary.
Yeah, huge grind.
Yeah, wow.
Obviously, we probably thought they were going to win a bit more comfortable. 2 disallowed tries that were fairly unlucky. Two. Harry Potter one, the Max Jorgensen one.
I think it's 2, yeah.
2
Yeah,
disallowed tries. Obviously, Fiji had 1 too. But, credit to Aussie to sort of getting it done. I think, they won't be happy with that performance, but it's their first of the year. Big thing for them now is how are they going to do the next 2 weeks to be ready for a whole different beast in the British and Irish Lions.
Yeah, there's more to come, isn't there?
Yeah.
Fortune's at Suncorp, right?
Yep, Suncorp, first test. Hopefully
Fortress.
we'll be,
Oh, I was the Fortress. I was South Africa there last year, didn't I?
Drill the knack, your assessment of that.
Mate, I think when we were in control of what we were trying to do, we looked really well.
Yep.
Fiji obviously were very good at disrupting that and got us a bit frazzled at times. But on the flip side, it was actually really nice to see an Australian rugby team be able to close out quite a tight game.
Under pressure too.
Yeah, we really had to fight to get that back. And I think if you're looking at the crop that's coming up into that Wallabies team, I think the Brumbies boys have got a lot to deal with that. Like we've spoken about a lot on our podcast, just get in that washing machine and stay in it. And I think I could see definitely aspects of that in there where they were under pressure and they knew what they had to do, but they stayed relatively composed and they did know how to just do what they needed to get it done. And I think moving forward in terms of a Lions test, if we sort of get into that sort of battle with the Lions, that's exactly what we need to be able to do. Like, don't get frazzled, just stay on it. Try and force them to try some stuff. But, yeah, it was a bit of probably not the result that the Wallabies were sort of looking for. I think they were probably looking for a little bit more, obviously.
Yep.
But there are definitely positives to take out of it.
A win's a win.
Yeah.
So what's to come now? The Lions take on the Brumbies on Wednesday night.
Yep.
Which will be the Brumbies will be targeting that to try and if the Kuru tour will be released. The Brumbies will come back into the mix from Wallaby camp.
Valentini, I don't think will play.
No.
I
think that's just the big one.
That's it, really. He's the only one that I can think. Who else is in the Brumbies?
Tom Ryan, all those boys won't play.
They're all playing anyway. But I think we've got to give a big shout out and hope for the best to Noah and Parecki.
Yeah, geez.
I do hope to see them both ready for the first test because otherwise Donaldson's probably going to get the keys. Tom Liner hasn't really had much test footy to be given
and
that.
Liam Wright saying he broke his
finger
as well, and he's a few head knocks, so he's,
Yeah, interesting times. Because I do want them to do well.
This country needs them to do well.
At least get a game.
Very much so.
Yeah, and that could have been very bad, so we'll take that as a win. So I'm glad they got the W. At least that's something for the boys. Boys, our first live watch along in the books.
This is good. I enjoyed it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Happy to do it again. Bring it back.
Yeah, mate. We'd love to. If you're happy to have us back and the people at home enjoyed what we were doing, hopefully get a little bit more traction rolling and
some good guests too.
Yeah.
Good guests. So
good guests.
I guess we'll look to wrap things up, boy. Australia win 21-18. This could have been a lot worse if the Australia win this. Australia lose this. The media tomorrow it's an absolute shitstorm.
Yeah, your people would be blowing up.
No, your people now. You're part of the washing machine of media.
Stop trying to bring us down.
I'm getting laughter in there. This is true.
I'm just the commentator. Leave me alone.
Oh.
All right, boys. We'll leave it there. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you everyone that tuned in on the comments as well. Thank you, Liam Wright, Hayden Sargent, Nick Frisbee, Random Stats Guy,
Uncle Shark
as well.
Justin Bernstein.
JB.
Bernstein, all the boys.
Everyone.
But this couldn't be possible without Double Take Sports Productions. Thank you, Zach, in the back. Thank you, Clancy, on the clips as well across the socials. If you're not following us, check us out on Media Vintage or on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Until next time, thank you, Jordan Lanack. Thank you, Tyler Campbell. My name is Jordan Hughes.
Pleasure.
Bye for now.
Oh my.